for us to go blow Baker out is a completely unrealistic expectation. We needed to go in there and fight with them for 3 hours and hope to win 21-20 or 27-20 or something like that. And we've really worked hard this week to make sure that our mindset is such that every game is a battle. And we got to go to work. And we've had 2 or 3 great work days of practice. I don't care who we're playing this week. We're playing Culver Stockton by chance. The fact is we got to go out there planning to work and plan for it to be a tight game. And I think you'll see that mindset from our team.
Head coach Brenton Elam talking with us before the game today as the Crusaders get set to take on Culver Stockton. Ed Beach with Wes Clay, and great to have you with us from JFK Stadium. It is overcast but not raining now. It has most of the day. It is kind of hazy and foggy, and for some reason now in Evangel home football game days, the town has turned into Seattle. It's kind of that way. A mist a couple of weeks ago with some rain, and cloudy, foggy, and rainy, but right now not entirely unpleasant. In fact, it's a little bit warm and humid as we get nearing now kickoff and game time. Wes, this is a big game for Evangel. It's Culver Stockton, but the Crusaders are coming off of a loss, and a Culver Stockton team that's bound to be hungry because they've done some good things the first 2 weeks, haven't had a win to show for it, and the turnovers have killed them. So as you look at today, you have to expect a young Culver Stockton team to battle the Crusaders well, and Evangel, if they want to have the season they need to have to take care of today.
Well, yeah, absolutely. This game against Culver Stockton is a must-win, and our guys need to go into this game not thinking that we're just going to roll over Culver. Like we heard in the interview earlier with Coach Elam, Culver is leading in a lot of stats in the HAC conference, so they're not a pushover. They're not going to come in here and just lie down for us. We're going to have to fight, and we're going to have to come off a loss from Baker and prove ourselves tonight against a very talented Culver Stockton team.
You know, it's early in a season, and a lot of times you'll see a team that might wind up toward the end of the season as not a good club, and a team that will kind of roll late in the year. You see a team early in the season, they're kind of a different club. And Culver Stockton sometimes is a team that you play early and they can be a handful. In fact, the Wildcats in their history have pulled off some very impressive upsets in the month of September. You get some losses, some things don't go your way, some injuries, and you kind of get beaten down by the time you get to November. But, boy, this time of year, you're relatively healthy, and a game like this could be a tough one, as you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the quarterback position, the Wildcats, they've had some transitions, but still, they're ranked 4th in the HAC, averaging about 200 yards per game through the air. So one thing that we didn't do last week defensively that we need to improve on is defending against the pass game. So Culver Stockton really brings that to the table.
It's been a tag team effort for them at quarterback. They've played 2 different guys almost splitting time, and then when they were way behind against Peru State, put in their number 3 quarterback, and he went off. I mean, they were out of the game. He wound up throwing for like 150 yards in a quarter and a touchdown or 2 and kind of impressed them. So Brenton Elam, while we did not talk about it in our pregame coverage that you heard, had some degree to which he had no idea who was going to play quarterback for Culver Stockton today, because all 3 have done some good things. Even the number 3 guy he could see some things on film that would lead him to believe that he was legitimately behind the other 2, but you play on the field that well, it definitely has to get in the coaching staff's minds that maybe he deserves a little more time. So we'll see. It could be right now. We were told to believe that Curtis Widener would be their starter. He's a junior college transfer and a Boone, Iowa native. Jake Hoffman has seen quite a bit of time there too, but it's a little bit of a mystery. So we'll kind of see how the game goes. And again, this early in the season, that's not completely unexpected either. And Evangel even will be having some personnel changes for today, and we'll talk about that as we go along tonight as well. The Crusaders will kick off to start this game. Again, Evangel is 1-1. They are 0-1 in the conference. Both games that Culver Stockton has played have been within the league. A loss to Graceland on the road and a loss at home last week to Peru State. And the Peru State game looks like a lopsided score. It was a 48-21 loss. But that's a little deceiving. Total yards was about even in that game. And again, the Wildcats had a bunch of turnovers and 2 inside the 10, where it basically took points off the board for the Wildcats. And in the first half that they could have been in a position to be in the game. Kick is in the air, and we're underway on kind of a soggy Saturday night. Opening kickoff is caught and dropped at the 5, then returned across the 15 and to about the 23-yard line by the Wildcats, and that's where they will start off the night. For Evangel, they'll start a 3-4 defense with Preston Henry and Kalen Hayes at defensive end and Carlin Sims up front at nose tackle. We say there's some personnel changes for Evangel, but not really on the defense. This is the same look for the last 2 weeks. Jamale Randall and Tabor Chio, outside linebackers. Zach Reed and Steven Swillem on the inside. And a secondary crew of Cam Bruffett and Denzel Purnell at the corners. Tyrell Hemingway and Denzel Billy are the 2 safeties. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 24-yard line. And on their first play, they'll get a handoff to the far side. Desmond Phillips, who is chased out of bounds for a loss of a couple of yards, and good pursuit by the Evangel defense up front as Phillips tried to turn upfield but had nowhere to go.
Talking defensively about the Crusaders, one thing that I gathered from some of the players when I was down on the field before the game was that they're really anxious to prove themselves defensively, and I think you're going to see a very aggressive linebacker core, but they're going to also need to know how to play against the offensive game, the pass game that the Wildcats have, because they struggled with that last week.
There's Curtis Widener that's starting for them at quarterback today for the Wildcats. There's movement on the offensive or on both lines as pass near side goes over the head of intended receiver Kevin Chisholm, and we'll see what the penalty marker is about, as this play will not likely stand. It was a long count. I think that we're going to see that a lot this year, Wes, as aggressive as Evangel is on defense. I think some long counts is going to be trying to draw the Crusaders offsides.
Offsides. Defense, number 91.
And that one worked. Looked like some Wildcats jumped there as well around the snap, but it goes against Evangel, and that'll actually set up a more manageable second down play. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Culver Stockton will go back to work. Again, a very young team. They'll start 4 freshmen on the offensive line. Curtis Widener in 2 games, 9 of 26 passing, 1 interception, 1 touchdown. And again, he has shared time with 2 other quarterbacks. Back to throw here, fires it far side, caught at the 30, shy of the first down marker, and the man is swarmed and taken down by a trio of Crusaders as they hit Ronrico Ragsdale, their top receiver, and actually their top offensive player, 95 yards per game. He's got 7 catches on the year and sets up a 3rd and short there.
Yeah, I was talking with some of the secondary before the game, and they were telling me about Ronrico Ragsdale and his height and the possible height advantage that we're going to see throughout the game for him. We're definitely going to need to keep close tabs on Ragsdale.
He is 6'3", 205, so he looks like your prototypical wide receiver. And an early timeout by Culver Stockton. They face a 3rd and 3. They're at their own 31-yard line and call for a timeout early on. We'll take a timeout too. No score. We're just underway, and we'll be back to JFK Stadium after this. Started that.
Come on, boy. Come on. What do you got there, Yogi?
50 seconds, Dad.
What do you found? What do you got, little fella? Drop it. Looks like someone's butt. Man, they probably lost it playing with their kids. Hey, leave it. Come on. Come on.
$20 seconds. $12 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Back at JFK Stadium, and Culver Stockton converts on a 3rd and 3 play. A 6-yard pickup to their tight end. And it's 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. We're scoreless and early on. An early timeout for the Wildcats, but they made it count for them as they convert a 1st down on a 3rd and 3. And now go with a running play up the middle. It appears to be stuffed as Desmond Phillips got the call straight up the middle. And Evangel comes through with a stop, setting up 2nd down and 10. Well, Evangel had trouble stopping third down plays last week in that opening drive, Wes, so clear enough Culver Stockton comes through and faced for that for the first time tonight.
Yeah, once again, going back to our backers, they are at a very aggressive bunch, but they're having a little bit of trouble reading the pass, getting too aggressive, getting sucked in. They're going to need to be able to read that a little bit quicker.
Widener out of the shotgun set as a man in motion near side against a movement up front. The snap goes over to Widener's head. He picks it up off the ground, dumps it over the middle, and it's caught at the 45 and taken out of bounds for a first down. No flags in the play, but this looks like a Culver Stockton first down, hitting their other tight end, Chris Cunningham.
We saw Baker last week use their tight end quite a bit, and he just slips out there for a little safety valve pass, and there you have it, another.
I said no flags. I missed it, I think.
Offside. Number 44, defense. Penalties decline. First down.
Yeah, it's a gain of 12, and that'll stand. So first and 10 for the Wildcats at 50. We're scoreless with 12:13 to go in the opening quarter. Widener will go under center with an I formation behind him. Tight end now will slide to the left. That's Cunningham. And on first and 10 from the 50, handoff second man through to Phillips. Tries to bat to the outside, gets hit, then wrapped up and taken down by Tyrell Hemingway. Didn't see who made the initial contact, but that slowed him up, Wes, and Hemingway finished the job.
It looked like Zach Reed got in there and made that initial hit, and then Tyrell Hemingway just swept in and finished up. Great job of recovering and making the tackle.
Nice job, really, by the whole defensive line to string that out. Forced the play out wide. Now second down and 12 as Culver Stockton winds up at their own 48. I formation again behind Widener, who takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolling left. Has Randall on his heels. Now he's going to try to run it. Wrapped up and thrown down after picking up about 3 or 4 yards. It's Preston Henry tracked him down. But they'll get positive yardage. Third down and about 7 or 8 to go for the first.
They didn't really get much out of that play. Culver Stockton didn't. But last week we saw several misdirection plays used against the Crusader defense, and we had a little bit of trouble defending against that. We'll see if Culver Stockton tries to take advantage of those kind of plays later on in the game.
Gain of 6, and it's 3rd and 6 for the Wildcats, who put 3 wide receivers to the right. And Widener from the shotgun. Now man in motion out of the slot right to the far side. And back to throw is Widener. Looking over the middle. Fires near side. Caught at the 42. Taken to the 40. At the 35. And good for the first down if this play stands. There's a penalty flag down in the Culver Stockton backfield that they think is on Evangel, as Culver Stockton takes it to the Crusaders' 28.
Roughing the passer. Defense. 15-yard penalty. The other run. First down.
And that's a big penalty because the play stands, and then on top of that, 15 yards.
Really need to button up the defense here, limit the mental mistakes, and get a stop.
That was on a 15-yard pickup, then another 15 yards. Puts the ball at the Evangel 17. No score, but Culver Stockton marching the ball well on their initial drive of the game. I formation behind Widener. Hands it off. Phillips up the middle. Met and thrown down as L.C. Tyser came through, grabbed him quick, and spins him to the turf.
L.C. Tyser and Carlin Sims up there on the front, causing havoc as usual. And L.C. just did a great job of shedding his block and making the play in the backfield.
Looks like a loss of 1, and it'll be second down and 11. Wildcats in road white jerseys, white pants, blue helmets. New Wildcats logo on a blue helmet. Widener under center. There's movement on the line again. Here's a pass over the middle that goes behind the intended receiver, incomplete. Looking for a flag, but don't see one. The Crusaders jump, but may have stayed onside. It's going to be third down and 11.
Those long counts really seem to be creating impatience, in our aggressive defense, and have caught us over pursuing a little bit and have taken advantage of it.
3rd down and 11 now for Evangel. Or actually for Culver Stockton. Crusaders looking to get a stop here as the Wildcats have marched downfield deep in Crusader territory. They struggled in the red zone last week. Widener out of the shotgun, rolls to his left, looks downfield, now tries to tuck it under and run, and gets drilled by Chio, or was that Swillem at the 15? He gains about 3 yards in the play, but it's going to be 4th down in a field goal situation.
It looked like Swillem came over there and just laid the boom on him. Great job of anticipating the play and going and making it.
Now a field goal try from Michael Camargo, a senior from Roseville, Michigan. He's 1 for 2 in the year. This will be a 34-yard attempt. Ball is down, the kick on the way, and it is good. And Culver Stockton gets on the board first. A 34-yard field goal puts the Wildcats in front early. 3-0 Culver Stockton early in this game. And with a timeout on the field, we will be back after this.
On Audio Sports Online.
All right, Ad, we got about 30 seconds.
The home football games live. AudioSportsOnline.com.
May I have your attention, please? Would the owner of the spare tire, slightly hairy, with a little brown mole to the left of the belly button, it's an innie. Please report to the press box and retrieve your appendage. Oh, they must have lost this parking further away from the stadium and walking in. Yeah. Okay, we're back to the action.
End over and kick taken by Denzel Purnell from the 10. Upfield 20, 25. Near sideline is tripped up at around the 30. And Evangel will go on offense for the first time today in a 3-0 hole. Well, they gave up some yards, Wes, in the initial drive, but holding them to a field goal, minor victory early for the defense.
Yeah, you're not exactly happy with giving up 3 on the first drive, but, they were marching down the field fairly easily, so to come out only behind 3 is a plus for the Crusaders.
1st and 10 Evangel. Ball spotted at their 31-yard line. Andrew Brimhall will go to work at quarterback in the first series. Play action fake. He's back throw. Guns a deep ball down the far sideline. Caught at the 30. Jesse Vaughn is gone. And in one play, the Crusaders score a touchdown. 69 yards and a quick strike to the far sideline to Jesse Vaughn. Wow.
As you can see, just the speed of Jesse that we've talked about, him putting 10 pounds of muscle on over the summer, he just scorches his defender. Not even close, and he's off to the races once he gets that pass. Jesse Vaughn showing once again why he is the most dangerous receiver in the HAC Conference.
Was that a thing of beauty or what? Here's the extra point by Drew O'Kane, and that's perfect. And in the blink of an eye, Evangel takes a 7-3 lead.
Talk about a jump start to your offense, and especially coming off a hard week against Baker, to be able to strike right off the bat is great for this Crusader offense.
That was something, and you had to feel like Culver Stockton had to feel that they started the game about as well as they could start it. A good opening drive. They marched down there and at least get a field goal, and you go on the road and you get an early lead. You got a little life. Then all of a sudden, bang.
Yeah.
7-3.
Yeah, absolutely. And Andrew Bremhall showing off his strong arm there too. Definitely gonna open up some space for our running game to be established as well in this first half.
He does throw that bomb well. We saw it last week with 2 strikes against Baker and a couple of times against Friends.
One thing we saw there that we haven't seen in a while is that Bremhall had time to drop back and make a pass, and last week that pocket was collapsing, so Bremhall making a strong throw with a lot of time, and we see the result of that.
Quick strike to Jesse Vaughn, a 69-yard touchdown throw to the whiteout, his third TD of the year already. Kickoff coming to Culver Stockton and gets behind both guys. They kind of looked at each other and nobody took it. And it goes through the end zone for the touchback.
A little bit of miscommunication there. Maybe some running on Monday afternoon.
Well, if it was outfielders, you know that, right?
Absolutely. You got to be talking.
Well, that's a part of the Evangel baseball squad as well as our campus media. And, somebody's got to call for that thing. Because that bounced at about the 2 or 3 yard line. That wasn't one of those that was a pure touchback.
Yeah, not something you want to see, especially after a big offensive strike.
New rule, though, puts the ball at the 25 on touchbacks in college ball this year. And Culver Stockton's offense back on the field. 1st and 10 for them, 25-yard line as they go back to work from our left to our right. I formation set, handoff to Phillips. Up the middle, a hole this time. Bounces off a man at the 30 and falls forward to about the 34, 33-yard line. His best carry of the day by far. In fact, it had negative yardage on his first 4 carries today, but that gets him 9. And it's 2nd and 1.
Yeah, we definitely can't underestimate their offense. They just marched down the field on us in the first quarter, so that was a little bit of a wake-up call to our defense. Say, hey, we got to stop these guys, and we got to stop them soon and early in the game.
They get a 2nd down and 1 from their own 34-yard line. Widener under center, another long count. I formation once again. Phillips up the middle. It's Meta to get the 1st down across the 35 to the 37.
Josh Sloan on the tackle there. And that's not an easy play. He had a little bit of space to run, and Josh Sloan was able to make the open field tackle, but still too many holes in that defensive line. I'm sure we'll patch those up.
Desmond Phillips, a good-looking back. He's had one good game, 1 touchdown on the season, averaging 46 yards per contest through 2 games. That's a little deceiving. He is quick, and only a freshman out of Macon, Georgia. 1st and 10 for the Cats at their own 38. They fake the handoff to Phillips. Widener throws on the run, and a sliding attempt at a catch is made. I believe he did get it at about his own 42-yard line, and the pass complete to Nick Hill.
One thing that I've seen that's been different this week from last week defensively is we seem to be getting to the outside better and protecting that, especially from those quick backs and receivers getting to the outside and running along that sideline. We seem to be protecting that well.
2nd and 6 for Culver Stockton. Wildcats at their 42-yard line. Widener, play action fake, back to throw. Heaves a deep ball down the near sideline. There's a battle for position there, and there goes a flag. Cam Bruffett got locked up near side with Evan McFadden, and I think is going to get stuck with the penalty. They were jostling for position, and I think they're going to stick Bruffett either with a hold or pass interference. See what the indication is.
Didn't hear that call.
Yeah, his mic is causing a few difficulties, as is our equipment a little bit faulty at the moment, but we'll stick you through it for now.
Pass interference goes against the Crusaders. 15-yard penalty.
First and 10 for Culver Stockton after the pass interference. Widener under center. Now goes back to throw, rolling to the far side, completes a pass and getting knocked out of bounds there. The Wildcats will set up about a 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 6. That'll go for 5 yards. It's 2nd and 5. Widener under center. It's 2nd down and 4 to go for Culver Stockton. Handoff to Phillips up the middle, and he's going to get met at the 35, surge forward to about the 34. Third and 2 for Culver Stockton.
3rd down and 2 for the Wildcats. Ball is at the Crusader 35-yard line.
Third and short for Culver Stockton. This is where the Evangel defense will need to step up here on a 3rd down and short play. Handoff to Phillips up the middle as a 1st down and takes a tackler with him inside the 30 to about the 28 or 29.
First down run for the Wildcats.
So, Wes, they pick up another one. A 1st down converted that time for the Cats.
Yeah, that's one thing that we really need to improve on is those 3rd down conversions. And once again, a couple penalties lead us to giving the Wildcats good field position, and we just can't give up those kind of yards. Last week we saw 81 yards in the first half due to penalties, and once again we're seeing more.
Back to throw, Widener fires a deep ball over the middle, and it is intercepted and then broken up. Boy, he had getting his hands on it was Hemingway, and then he got hit, and the ball came dislodged, but almost had a takeaway.
Yeah, he had it in his hands and was hit and fell right out. Good opportunity for the Crusaders, but once again you see the Wildcats struggling when they're getting close to the red zone and close to the end zone, and hopefully the Crusaders can keep the pressure on them defensively. As you saw, their quarterback was hit pretty hard. Continue to put the pressure on the quarterback, get him to throw the ball sooner than he wants, not really put a hold on their offense.
2nd and 10 for Culver Stockton. At least Evangel got the stop there on the 1st down play. Now this play will get whistled dead. And we've got a timeout called by Culver Stockton. Timeout Wildcats with 4:51 to go in the opening quarter. With a timeout on the field, we're back in a moment.
Can I help you, sir?
Found these over by the stairs.
Okay, thank you.
What are they?
Love handles. Lots of people lose them taking the stairs instead of the escalator.
Okay.
First and 10 for the Crusaders. Ball is at the 2-yard line. Number 20 doing the top of the line on the play. Doing 1 on the play, 2nd and 9.
Yes, I can. You got us? Welcome you back to Kennedy Stadium. A technical glitch once again, unfortunately, plaguing us here at Kennedy as it did a couple of weeks ago, but haven't missed a whole lot. Evangel, after scoring that touchdown, Culver Stockton wind up throwing an interception at the Evangel 3-yard line. Denzel Billy with a pick as Widener throws an interception. And for Evangel, they now have the football at their own 10-yard line. And a running play near side to Tommy Meyer. Looks like it'll be good for the first down. And into the game, and we expected him to play a little bit, is Garrett Swan, a freshman quarterback from Lago Vista, Texas. And getting some playing times and repetitions, and they want to work him in regularly to get some experience in. We're at 3:13 of the first quarter, and Evangel still leads 7-0.
Yeah, Garrett in right now, looking a little bit uncomfortable. That's to be expected. First time in, makes a nice pass on the right side.
That's Otis Brown with a catch, and he's going to be thrown for a loss back to the 11-yard line, so that'll be a loss of about 3. But that's why you're out there, Wes, to get maybe the butterflies knocked out of you, so if you get in a position in crunch time, you kind of know how to react.
Yeah, and that's what we need from Garrett, and that's how we need him to step up. You know, obviously Bremhall's our man, but to have a guy who can step up and be the man, he definitely needs to get his game reps in, and that's what we're doing right now. Not a better opportunity than right at your own doorstep.
Here's a pass near side from Swan that winds up at the feet of Mitch McHenry, incomplete. It's going to be 3rd down and 12 for the Crusaders. And I think we had a late flag thrown. And we'll see. It was an offsides a moment ago on Culver Stockton. It put Evangel in a short yardage situation on 3rd down, and now they're talking to the Crusaders offense on what was anyway, a 2nd down and 12 play.
Action play. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughing. 49.
That was literally roughing the quarterback, so that welcomes Swan into college football. But he gets a penalty out of it.
Yeah, Swan, in talking with some of the guys earlier, they feel confident in Swan as the backup. He has a good arm and knows how to play the game of football. A great high school quarterback from Texas. It'll be fun to see him grow and mature.
Tommy Meyer carrying near side, cuts up to the 30, makes a man miss at the 35, drags a tackler with him across the 40 to the 41-yard line on a 1st down carry.
You can always expect Tommy to give you a strong run, and there he did right there. And he's got strong legs, and he's got speed and power. Excellent running back.
Gives Evangel a 1st down across their own 40-yard line. 1st and 10 Evangel. They lead 7-3 late first quarter. Handoff Meyer right side. Looks for room. Runs into a tackler, though, at the line of scrimmage and is pushed back. No room that time for the Crusaders running back and Tommy Meyer. Some new faces getting some starts on the offensive line, Wes. And it's a young group, but it's got some talent and not a ton of depth with Tyler Preffitt coming back from an injury and Austin Osbury out for a couple of more weeks. Preffitt, though, may be seeing some time today, but a lot of guys in there needing some playing time. 2nd down and 10 here, and a flag will blow the play dead. I think the Crusader had jumped, but Wes, it'll be a group that needs some time to gel, and probably interesting to see some different guys, some looks today.
Yeah, on the right side you have Colin McCage, and in talking with him, you know, they're not overwhelmed. They're a mature bunch, but at the same time, you know, they still have a lot of growing to do, and especially learning how to protect their quarterback and learning how to protect the run game at the college level. We have guys who have the capabilities of it. Now we just need to see them go out and do it.
That was offsides on Culver Stockton. A break for Evangel. It's 2nd and 5. Vaughn in motion near side, putting 3 wide receivers to the left. Here it's Swan back to throw. Backpedaling, dumps it off to Meyer. It's across the 45, across the 50, 45 forward, down the near sideline 35, and chucked it out of bounds at around the 32. Handled like that from Swan a little bit, and that he was backpedaling and didn't try to do too much there. Had Tommy Meyer there, and he's a guy that knows what to do when he catches it on a dump out like that.
Yeah, Swan not getting flustered, but finding the open man and making the pass, something that Tommy can handle and letting him do the work. Good play by Swan and Tommy.
23-yard gain for Evangel. Puts the ball at the 32-yard line of Culver Stockton. Fake the handoff, Swan back to throw, fires it near side, and a sliding attempt at a catch made. It was made by Otis Brown to the 17 or 18-yard line. That should be a first down. Oh, wait a minute, they're going to change the call.
Yeah.
I had one guy that was nodding his head, yes, that's a catch, and the guy behind the play said, no, it wasn't. And it's coming back for a 2nd and 10.
See on the replay, it really looked like he had it, but middle umpire said he did, but overruled.
Well, what's tough is the guy that was behind Brown said no catch, and the guy that had a great look at it from the middle of the field couldn't get it. And now Evangel wants a timeout here as Mitch McHenry, actually the wide receiver, was trying to get set and actually calls timeout with 34 seconds to go in the first half. We'll keep it here as we're late opening quarter, and Evangel has a 7-3 lead. Culver Stockton got on the board on the first drive of the game. A field goal put them on front 3-0, and then Evangel in one play comes back with a long scoring strike. Andrew Brimhall to Jesse Vaughn and a 69-yard throw, and the Crusaders went up 7-3 then. Culver Stockton then put together a nice little drive that ended in an interception. They got around to the plus 30 or 31-yard line, and a throw to right on the goal line by Widener got picked off by Denzel Billy. And another turnover plaguing Culver Stockton West, but Evangel's defense kind of needed to come up with something there, and they were able to get the pick.
Yeah, especially our secondary. We needed something to go well for us back there. And to be able to get that pick, I'm not sure whether it was Cam or Denzel Billy. I thought it might have been Cam Bruffett, but just to be able to come up with that play and keep Culver out of the end zone is big for us.
Heard the PA say that. I think you may be right. It may have been Bruffett. Here's Tommy Meyer in a run to the right side. Picks his way across the 30. It wasn't much room there, but he winds up all the way to about the 26-yard line of the Wildcats for about a 6 or 7 yard run. Didn't look like much was there. He just kept looking for room and looking for space and got 5 yards out of it. In fact, that was Cam Bruffett. You're right, Wes. That's who got the pick.
Look at there. Obviously a strong run by Tommy, but also our offensive line pushing and pushing and pushing.
Final play of the first quarter. Swan goes deep near side, and the ball knocked down incomplete. Actually knocked down by the Crusaders. It was thrown at around the 8-yard line. Leaping up in the air, trying to get it was McHenry, but the pass knocked down incomplete, and that'll end the opening quarter. After one, the Crusaders have a 7-3 lead at home over Culver Stockton. We're back with the second quarter in a moment.
This is a man who almost learned to walk at a rehab center that almost got built by people who almost gave money. Almost gave. How good is almost giving? About as good as almost walking.
And it is no good. He missed it wide left. So the Crusaders come out of that with no points as O'Kane comes up empty on a field goal try.
Tell you what, O'Kane is never short on his kicks, but as of late, he seems to have been struggling a little bit with hooking the ball. Easy adjustment for O'Kane, and I'm sure he'll have it back on track later.
He hit a field goal last week on the road at Baker, but did miss one. Crusaders now back defensively as Culver Stockton takes over at their own 36-yard line. Starting the second quarter. Culver Stockton in an I formation. Widener hands it off to the right side and some room for their running back, and I believe that's Sean Enoch. And his first carry of the night is going to get him about 3 or 4 yards. I said about the 36. They're actually from the 26 to their own 30-yard line in a gain of 4.
Steven Swillam there on tackle, reading the defense and going to make a play.
2nd and 6 for Culver Stockton. Lone back this time behind the quarterback. They fake to him. Back to throw. Widener being pursued. Dumps it off and throws it away. Had Preston Henry right on him, and he threw it at the feet of his tight end on the far side to get rid of it.
Yeah, Preston Henry in there just causing a lot of trouble and rushed their quarterback, and that's one of the keys for our defense for this game is not allowing them to get their passing game up in the air because they are very dangerous there.
3rd down and 6. Culver Stockton at their own 30. Kind of at a spot where they need to convert this. They trail 7-3 early second quarter. 3 wide receivers near side. Widener ducks under center. Has the snap. Drops back to throw. Under pressure. Dumps it off. It bounces off a man and nearly picked off. Steven Swillam came flying in, dove, and tried to get a one-handed grab just above the turf, but could not hang on, but an incomplete pass makes it 4th and 6.
That would have been a heck of a grab if he made that. Good effort, but good to get a stop on 3rd down. You like to see that from our defense.
Thought we were owed a break after all the bounces that went weird last week at Baker. Thought, well, maybe it's bound to fall in our hands after a deflection. 2 or 3 went the other way last week in Baldwin City. In for the punt is Dylan Clewin, and he has one partially blocked. He kind of bobbled the snap, got it off. It goes forward up the far sideline. Flags come from everywhere on the far side. We'll see what this is about as the ball goes out of bounds, only about 15 yards upfield.
It looked like Denzel Billy got in on there and was able to put a hand up and knock the ball down. We'll see. We'll see after the play here.
Clewin is their punter. The penalty flag is downfield at the 35-yard line. So there was no flag at the point of where the punter was. And we'll see what they say here is the resulting infraction.
There's your foul. Personal foul on the Terry Ruffner. Number 2 on the return team. Personal foul on the Terry Ruffner. Number 22 on the kicking team. The penalty offset. Ball will be advanced.
That's a break for the Crusaders in offsetting personal fouls. A lot of nothing, and it winds up to be a plus for Evangel. They get the ball at the Culver 40.
First time in a while, it seems like that we've started off early in the game with good field position. Seems like we were giving that up last week quite a bit, but hopefully we're able to take advantage of a Culver miscue.
Andrew Brimhall now back in at quarterback for the Crusaders. Junior from Cordova, Tennessee, will take over at the Culver Stockton 40-yard line. 14:03. We've played less than a minute into this second quarter. And it's a quarterback keeper. They fake a handoff to Meyer, and the Wildcats read it well as Brimhall just gets back to the 40-yard line before he's tackled. Garrett Swan came in a series ago, Wes, and a good-looking drive for the rookie as he went from deep in his own turf to at least get Evangel in field goal range.
Yeah, he looked good. He made some nice plays, made some good decisions. Also showed a little bit of gutsiness throwing a couple balls. But, he looked as expected for an incoming freshman in his first series. But overall, good.
Back to throw is Brimhall. He's going to dump it out. That's batted down right there. And, boy, Culver Stockton thought they had one intercepted. Kyron Kemp was right there, had a big hand on it, but could not hang on as he swatted down a pass intended for the running back, Tommy Meyer.
That's why they put him on defense.
Well, that and the guy is 6 foot 235. He looks like a defensive end. 3rd down and 10. That would have been a touchdown if he hangs on. That's not the easiest catch in the world to make. It was well off to his side. He had one hand on it. 3rd down and 10 for Evangel. Brimhall from the shotgun. 4 wide receivers are in, 2 to either side. He has the snap and is back to throw. Fires a deep ball down the middle of the field looking for McHenry, who got tripped up but no flag. He kind of slowed down and got run into from behind. They're going to say that's incidental contact as the ball was over his head anyway.
Yeah, Brimhall overthrew him a little bit there, but it looks like McHenry got tripped up a little bit. McHenry not looking for a flag. Nothing doing.
Basketball 4-year letterman was McHenry and did the old point guard trick of dribbling the ball down the court, having a defender on your hip and then hitting the brakes and having him run into you from behind and drawing a foul that way. Did not work there, though, in the football form of it. Here's a punt for the Crusaders, and it's going to go right at the 1 and then bounce into the end zone for the touchback. And that was Josh Booker, and his first punt as a Crusader. Good to see him back, a Memphis native and transfer from the University of Memphis.
Yeah, that was right there. We almost had that at the 1-yard line, but unable to convert on that. Nice punt by Josh Booker.
Booker coming in his first game of the season. Evangel had a punter go down last year. Drew O'Kane was pressed into those duties a year ago and has performed admirably in the first 2 games this season at punter. But ideally, you'd like Booker in there, and he sent a punt for a touchback there. Ball at the 20 now for Culver Stockton. 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Hand off right side for Desmond Phillips. Slips through the line of scrimmage. Then the ball comes out, but they're going to say he is down as Steven Swillem made the tackle.
Steven Swillem's been all over the field today, making plays and pursuing well and shedding blocks and playing well for the inside backers.
3-yard gain by Phillips at 2nd and 7. Evangel has not given up a lot on ground. In fact, they've made Culver Stockton be pretty methodical so far in the first half. But the Wildcats have done nicely in moving the ball pretty effectively. And it's 2nd and 7 here for them at their own 23-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Phillips gets the call again and cut down, maybe for a loss of a yard at his own 22. He kind of slipped, but he also got hit and taken to the turf by one of the Crusaders up front. This is a new artificial surface at JFK Stadium. But it holds up very well. In fact, as much rain as we had today, you walk across that thing and it's pretty dry.
Yeah, it is. And the new draining systems that they have, they're able to get that water out quick, which is safe for the players as well as an advantage.
On 3rd down and 8, the ball thrown away. Pressure on Widener caused him to just get rid of it as he got put to the turf by Jamail Randall. And on 4th down and 8, a punting situation for the Wildcats.
That's what we need to see is putting the pressure on the quarterback, making him throw the ball quickly, and our defense has done a real good job of that so far.
Dylan Clowoon into punt, averaging 36 yards per punt coming in. Evangel got a piece of the last try from him, though, and he's going to pump this ball from around his own 10. And again, great pressure there, but he gets it away. It'll be fielded by Purnell, who drops it, and it's going to be recovered by the Crusaders at the Culver Stockton 47. A nice recovery by Evangel as that bounced off Purnell, who just kind of misread it a little bit. He had to reach out and haul it in, was maybe a step behind it. And Evangel, actually, that ball went past 2 white jerseys to get to a Crusader who recovered.
Huge break there for the Crusaders. Cam Bruffett was able to just jump on top of it. But Denzel looked like maybe put his head down a little bit before catching the ball. focusing on that Wildcat defender and just wasn't able to hold on to it.
Evangel not only still has the football, but good field position. Play action fake by Brimhall. Throws a deep pass down the middle of the field for Vaughn. Just out of his reach, incomplete.
Vaughn beat two defenders there. Literally about a foot from his reach and wasn't able to reel it in, but Vaughn once again showing his speed and quickness, beating two Wildcat defenders.
Second down now and 10 to go. Evangel at the Culver-Stockton 47-yard line. They lead 7-3 here at home with 11:23 to go in the second quarter. Hand off up the middle for Meyer as a whole and gets to around the 42-yard line and the gain of about 5 as it closed quickly. But a good rush by Tommy Meyer. Positive yardage sets up a third and medium play.
It's been a little slow since our first drive. You'd like to see us convert on this third down, gain a little bit of momentum in the second quarter.
Yeah, put some points on the board, start to put some distance out there on the scoreboard between you and the Wildcats. Third down and 5 here. Brimhall fires a pass near side. Leaping grab made by Josh Booker. Not only punts, but is a wide receiver and makes a grab for the first down to the 35-yard line on a gain of 7.
Ball right on the money by Brimhall, and Booker was able to go up and catch it, showing his athleticism, getting the first down, holding on to the ball while taking a pretty good hit.
Had to leap for that and got the hit as well to get a first down for Evangel at the Wildcats 35. Brimhall back to throw. Sets up in the pocket. Fires it near side of the sideline and caught and taken out of bounds near side by Booker again. And just a yard shy of the first down to the 26-yard line. It'll be second down and 1. Brimhall looking to kind of get in a little bit of a rhythm here. Has not really been able to. But now starting to click. Here's a pitch to Meyer and a sweep near side. Gets hit, trying to fight forward for the first down and may not quite have it. He lunged for the 25, which is where the first down marker is. And he looks like he may be just shy of it. Call that no gain. Third and 1 for Evangel. Maybe a short yardage group coming in. They're kind of still scrambling. They get both tight ends into the game now, and Tanner Halfcock and Justin Breedlove. Double tight end set, and there goes a flag. That's going to go on the Crusaders. The false start. And that hurts now, Wes. That changes everything. You go from a third down and about a foot to go to now basically 3rd and 6.
Yeah, and it's mistakes like that kind of haunted us as far as field position goes, and especially where we are right now.
Evangel never really looked sure of themselves that whole sequence.
Yeah. A little bit out of sync.
Now 3rd down and 6. Brimhall will go shotgun. 3 wideouts left, 1 to the right. He throws from his back foot and hits Meyer, who spins off a man at the 30, gets across the 25, breaks the tackle and thrown out of bounds at around the 24 or 23-yard line. That's going to be a first down.
Great run there to the outside, and how dangerous is Tommy Meyer, even when he's not running the football? I mean, he's just right there, and you know you're going to get yards from him, and boy.
They had him caught, Wes. That was not supposed to be a first down. They had him at about 2 or 3 yards shy. He just spun off the guy and got Evangel the first down by a yard. Back to throw, Brimhall. Pumps once, now flushed down to the pocket. Rolls far side, going to run it. At the 25, at the 20, and then bumped out of bounds at around the 12 or 11-yard line. That's going to be a first down run by Brimhall, who's got some wheels, Wes.
Yeah, showing his athleticism, getting to the outside, not allowing a collapsed pocket to end the play, and really running well there.
He outran one of the defensive linemen for the Wildcats, picked up a block downfield, and then a block downfield by Booker allowed him to get a little more space. Hand off to Meyer, looking for room up in the middle, dives across the 10 to the 9 for a gain of 2.
Coming up on about 8 minutes and 40 seconds into the second quarter, and still, not a lot has been going on. You really want to see a score here from the Crusaders. Like we said earlier, to create a little bit of distance before they go into the locker room.
Well, they've made some good things happen in this
Yeah.
drive, Wes, so it's also one of those things to where, you've converted on the third down, you've had some good plays here, you want to finish this.
Yeah.
And also give you a double-digit lead midway through the second. Your defense right now is playing well. Brimhall back to throw out of the shotgun, fires a pass near side at the goal line and was offline, the throw to Vaughn. Flag came out of somebody's pocket. I thought they were going to throw it, but they're just going to talk to a couple of guys instead. It's going to be 3rd down and 8.
That ball just looked like it got away from Brimhall.
He was looking left, I think, on purpose, and then went right to his right where Vaughn had single coverage. Now they're going to go 4 wide to the Crusaders. 2 wideouts to either side. 3rd down and 8. Ball spotted at the Culver-Stockton 10. Brimhall from the shotgun has the snap. Back to throw. Pumps once, now tucks it now. Looks like he may run. Throws to the end zone. Incomplete. He was looking for Brown on the far side, who might have tried to sell a push, but did not get a flag, and it's incomplete. But it will be a field goal attempt for the Crusaders coming up.
Wildcats did a good job of defending that. Brought a lot of pressure, but also were able to keep a lot of coverage on our receivers.
Drew O'Kane with a little chip shot here, and this is right in the middle of the field, a 26-yard attempt. Mitch McHenry again will hold. Ball is down, and it's blocked. Loose ball back at the 20-yard line. Culver-Stockton will recover and pick it up. So they hold the Crusaders scoreless again. A good drive by Evangel to end the opening quarter. They miss a field goal there. This time, from midfield, get down to the 10-yard line and come up empty on a field goal that's blocked.
Just a little leak there, and one guy misses his job, and there's 3 points off the board. Looks like a guy just threw his hand up. There wasn't a whole lot of pressure. There wasn't a whole lot of pressure. He just kind of threw his hand up and got a hand on it.
Handoff up the middle. It'll go for about a 2 or 3 yard carry. They credit Andy Staten with the block. Three-yard pickup there for the Wildcats. 2nd down and 7. Culver-Stockton with it at their own 29-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 wide out to the right. Widener, a short drop, fires over the middle, incomplete. A quick-hitting pass. He well overthrew his target, and that's a dangerous spot of turf to overthrow a ball. Andy Staten with that blocked field goal, a freshman, but a freshman that is 38 years old.
Wow, that's a story.
He will be beyond the age of 40 if he plays his whole 4-year career.
Wow.
It's one of those things that's kind of fun about the NAIA, actually. Yeah. There's an age limit in the NCAA. Back to throw, Widener dumps it over the middle and into traffic. The ball is caught at about the 31, but only about a 2-yard pickup, and it's going to be 4th down again.
You see that pressure that we're putting on the receiver. You know, he's making a 10-yard pass, but he's 10 yards in his backfield. And, Preston Henry and L.C. Kaiser and Carlin Sims, especially on that play, just get past their blocks and are allowing our defense to do the work for us here.
Klawoon to punt again. It's a spiraling punt, angling far side that Purnell catches, drops again at around the 40-yard line. This time there's a fight for the football at the Evangel 40. They may be fortunate to get this one. And Evangel comes out of it again, and Cam Bruffett actually emerges from the pile for the 2nd time as he winds up with the football in his hands again, saving what could have been a potentially disastrous turnover.
Yeah, looking at the replay right there, it looked as if Purnell was just trying to make a move too quickly. Purnell being a very dangerous threat for us. And just took his eye off the ball for a second.
First and 10, Evangel at their own 40-yard line to start this drive. Handoff, second man through. This is going to be Myers, slips through the line of scrimmage, then tripped up at the 45. Boy, he had some daylight if he could have kept going to the outside, but could not. But still a 5-yard pickup. You'll take that on the first down. Angel had in at fullback that time, Preston Henry, and still do in an I formation look. And there's going to be a flag on the play as Jesse Vaughn started a second too early. So back to second down and 10 for Evangel and their own 40-yard line. Halfway through the second period, the Crusaders still with a 7-3 lead. Both teams scored on their first drive of the game, and neither has scored since. Field goal by the Wildcats, TD for Evangel on one play. Now a draw play to Meyer, looking for room, looks to his left and gets about 2 yards upfield before he's stacked up and pushed back. We saw last year Evangel thin by injuries and had to use a couple of guys going both ways. And Preston Henry, the starting defensive end and at fullback for Evangel right now. Marlon Bailey is out for this game. He's the other running back, but not really a fullback. Here's Meyer again, running near side, and trips across the 45. It stays in his feet and gets out of bounds for the first down, I believe, in Culver-Stockton territory to the 48. That was just an impressive run.
Yeah.
He didn't have a lot of room, Wes, and he just kind of found his way and kept his balance.
No, he did, and once again you see the strength of Myers, but also in that play, Preston Henry at fullback, creating some room for Meyer to run, getting a couple of big blocks.
Meyer again, and this time not finding room, gets stacked up and pushed back for no gain. He had a big game against Culver-Stockton, really a big half. He didn't play in the second half against the Wildcats in Canton last year, but had a bunch of yards in the first half, including a touchdown run. They're going to give him progress for a yard. This drive has been all Meyer. New back in there this time, that's Otis Brown. He's going to get a call running near side. And finds room at the 45, at the 40, then run out of bounds near the first down marker. It'll depend on spot, and he's going to be a yard shy at around the 40, about 2 yards shy. But there's Otis Brown at a wide receiver moving to running back, but showing off his speed there. But that's coming back.
Brown definitely no stranger to running the ball, as he ran the ball quite a few times in his high school career.
Brenton Elam, before the year began, just said he's our best all-round football player. The transfer out of Ball State, who is primarily a wide receiver. But you kind of get the impression he's a guy that can do a little bit of everything. And he's got the size to play the running back position too. After the hold, it is second down and 19 for Evangel. Brimhall back to throw. Fires it far side, and it is caught at the 38-yard line at Culver-Stockton, and may be a first down as Mitch McHenry comes through with a leaping grab and has the first down by a yard and a gain of 20.
And Mitch McHenry goes up for football passes better than almost anyone. I mean, he really lays his body on the line.
Mark it down to the 37-yard line of the Wildcats. Handoff Brown across the 35, across the 30, far side 25 at the 20, foot race to the 15, at the 10, and he's chased out of bounds inside the 10-yard line at around the 9. Oh, this may work with him and running back.
Absolutely. His ability to turn directions on a dime, he's going up the middle one play, the next play, the next moment he's getting to the outside and showing extreme explosiveness. We're going to see Otis Brown in the backfield definitely more.
A 28-yard run. They mark him down at the 8. Handoff near side. That's going to be Meyer this time, who gets to the 5-yard line before he's stacked up and pushed back. Tommy Meyer on the run. That's going to be about a 3-yard gain to the 5-yard line. Second down and goal from there. 3:08 to go in our second quarter. with Evangel leading 7-3, but looking to extend their lead. Sean Hebert in the game. Lines up to the right of Jesse Vaughn, who's behind the line of scrimmage with Brimhall under center. They fake a pitch. Brimhall's going to keep it. Looking for room. Gets inside the 5 and to around the 2-yard line for progress before he got picked up and thrown back. It's a different kind of formation. Brimhall looking for room, but not quite able to break the plane to the end zone. Stopped it around the 2-yard line. Had a whole host of blockers in front of him. He couldn't quite get the push to the goal line. 3rd and goal from the, actually called it the 1-yard line. Ball fumbled on the snap, but Brimhall picks it up, throws to the end zone, and it's tipped and incomplete.
We've been knocking on the door a couple times. We just haven't been able to enter the end zone.
No field goal here. Yep, here comes the field goal unit along with Drew O'Kane. Nice job by Culver Stockton to leap up, bat that away. It was intended for Josh Booker about 7 yards deep in the end zone over the middle. Could not make the grab. It's going to be a very short field goal try. They're going to spot the ball at around the 7 or 8 yard line. Literally will just be about an 18-yard attempt for O'Kane. Ball spotted, though, on the far hash mark. This is not an easy one from this distance. And the kick is up. And this time he got it. And O'Kane stretches the Evangel lead with 2:06 to go in the second. It is Evangel 10, Culver Stockton 3. Timeout on the field. Evangel now leading by a touchdown, and we're back to JFK Stadium in a moment.
Stronger, healthier babies. It's what the March of Dimes is all about. Learn more about healthy babies at marchofdimesbaby.org.
Back at JFK Stadium, Evangel takes a 10-3 lead after the field goal from Drew O'Kane. Culver Stockton only returned the ball to their own 19-yard line and then commits a penalty, Wes, so they'll start deep in their own turf with 2 minutes to go in the half.
Yeah, we'll see if our defense, who has been on the field for a while, is able to continue their good pressure on their quarterback. It'd be nice to get the ball back before the half is over just to see what can happen. But
handoff up the middle is going to go backwards. Handoff up the middle. That to Maurice Childs, and that goes nowhere. The loss of about a yard from their own 11 to the inside the 10. They're going to mark the ball at the 8. This is where you got to be careful too, Wes. If you're Culver Stockton, you need to move the ball here a little bit and at least run out the clock.
Yeah, especially with the field position that they've been given the past couple possessions. Haven't had a lot of breathing space.
Second down and 12. Handoff near side. And again, the man met behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to fight back to get near the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that.
Zach Reed on that tackle, just able to come up and hit them behind the line.
Evangel's going to get a timeout here. And this is going to try to set themselves up to get the ball back. They put Culver Stockton in a 3rd and 13 from deep in their own territory. Evangel leading 10-3 with 1:07 to go before halftime with a timeout on the field. We will be back after this.
This is Sarah Watkins. A lot of people almost helped her. One almost cooked for her. Another almost drove her to the doctor. Still another almost stopped by to say hello. They almost helped. They almost gave of themselves. But almost giving is the same as not giving at all.
Back at JFK Stadium, Culver Stockton on 3rd and 13 gets another no-gain play. Chimes again the ball carrier. Actually may have gotten to the 9, but it's now 4th down and 11, and a punting situation for the Wildcats with actually about a minute to go before halftime, and Evangel's going to get the ball back. Jesse Vaughn in to return a punt that's going to come from the Culver Stockton end zone.
We're going to have good field possession on this. Have a little fun, maybe put up another 7 before we go into halftime.
You're in a position to add Worsby in field goal range with any kind of return at all on this. With O'Kane's leg, you have to get him that close.
Absolutely.
This punt is going to come from right around the goal line. Evangel going after him. There goes a flag and a punt that goes straight up. And it's going to be caught by Vaughn at the 50. He backpedals all the way to his own 49, looking for room. He's wrapped up there, and he's going to be snowed under by about 6 white jerseys. What do you think the flag is? It's at the line of scrimmage all the way at the other end of the field. I didn't really see anything obvious come out of that.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what they...
Illegal formation on the offensive 5 in the backfield.
They're going to make him punt it again. Cluone, pretty good punter, averaging 36 yards per punt coming in, but his back is going to be against the very end of the wall, very edge of the wall. He has no room at all to work with now. They're going to go backwards 5 yards, so the ball will be spotted at the Culver Stockton 4. Evangel put decent pressure on him. We'll see if they bring the house this time. They will have Vaughn back to return it again, and he's standing still at the 50.
Let's bring them all.
You can just show it, and it's going to quicken your heart rate a little bit. Just knowing they might where you're standing. He right now is literally in the very back of his own end zone. This punt is going to come 5 yards in the painted turf. There it is. It goes sideways, comes out of bounds near side at the 13-yard line. I think somebody had to have gotten a piece of that.
Yeah, I couldn't quite see it, but it went too left for it not to be.
That is a very big false start. They're going to spot the ball at the 15-yard line. That makes it about a 40-yard penalty. He may have just shanked it.
It looks like he did.
I think he did. That went off the side of his foot sideways. No one got a piece of that. It went wobbly. That's why it thought the hand had to be on it, because it looked like a batted ball, but that just went off the side of his foot.
When you're that far in your own end zone, you're not really caring about about what kind of foot you put on it. You're just trying to get something on it.
Here's Brimhall back to throw. 42 seconds to go in the half. He finds a pass to the end zone that's broken up. He was looking for McHenry 5 yards deep in the end zone to the far sideline. And a nice pass breakup on the far side by Mike Fitzgibbons.
Good defensive play by the Wildcats. put the hand in there, disrupt a little bit, and keep 7 points off the board for now.
Evangel to the Culver-Stockton 15-yard line. 38 seconds to go before half. Evangel with a 10-3 lead right now. Brimhall out of the shotgun. Has the snap, back to throw. Looks, guns a pass near side toward the end zone for Vaughn, and it's nearly picked off. A little underthrown, and then it wound up hitting Andy Smith, who could not hang onto the ball, and he dropped it incomplete.
Kind of scary right there. He threw it up for grabs, and Jesse Vaughn didn't quite have the right positioning on it. Fell right into the defender's hands.
That's kind of scary because that's taking points off the board because you know you're probably going to get 3 out of this. You know, Kane's missed a couple, but he's very reliable. Now Brimhall back to throw again. 3rd down and 10. Fires over the middle, and this time it picked off. That is intercepted as Drew Bolheis makes a sliding pick 3 yards deep in the end zone, and that does take points off the board for Evangel. And is the Crusaders' first turnover of the night.
Yeah, you have a chance to do a little bit more damage before you go into halftime, kind of figure things out. But honestly, Ed, you know, we haven't looked right offensively since about 6 minutes, since about the 8-minute mark. We've just been out of sync, and right there we saw it.
Yeah, had a couple of good drives that stalled. You'd like to finish those, especially when you had a golden opportunity to get into the ball at that point in the field. Now Culver-Stockton going to the ground game, and Phillips, who will just get a yard to his right, getting from his own 20 to the 21, but Culver-Stockton doesn't care. They don't want to turn the ball over now, and you know they've got to be content, even down 7, to be where they are, down just a touchdown, the way this game has gone. They've had a big field position disadvantage through the second quarter, but very much in this game as you go to the locker rooms, Wes.
Yeah, they've played most of the second quarter in between their 1 and 33-yard lines, so to come out only 7 behind, they have to be happy. But Evangel needs to go back into the locker room, kind of reevaluate offensively where we're at, and then come back out and stick it to them in the second half.
Some missed opportunities for the Crusaders. 2 missed field goals. A golden opportunity toward the end of the half comes up empty there. But you go to halftime, and the Crusaders still with the lead. It's Evangel 10, Culver-Stockton 3. A look at the first half. And Paul K. Logston with a halftime guest when we return. But first, this commercial timeout on the Crusaders Sports Network. Okay. We had this glitch 2 weeks ago where our day, and they're standing water on the sides of the field. It has been rain-free so far in this game, although we've got overcast skies. The sunny part of the game right now for Evangel, the scoreboard with a 10-3 lead. It's some good and some bad, Wes. In a way, hey, you're up 7. You've done some good things. There's a lot that you can look at in the first half that went well. The defense played fantastic through most of the first half, especially in the second quarter. You've got a 7-point lead. You know, it could be worse. At the same time, boy, there have been some opportunities missed. Evangel has had 2 very good drives that resulted in no points, 2 missed field goals, and an opportunity there toward the end of the half to put some distance there on the scoreboard and couldn't do it with the interception.
Yeah, our offense looked a little out of sync about from the 8-minute mark in the second quarter until halftime, and we just weren't able to connect. We weren't able to connect with our receivers. Our passes weren't online. But it's overall everything is okay. You know, it's very easily handled, and we're going to go into the locker room. We're going to come back out, and we're going to play good ball. And, you know, we're going to strike early. I think we're a team who comes out of the locker room ready to play, and we've shown that in our first week against Friends University. And, you know, quick strikes are indicative of this Evangel program. And so we need to be a little bit more consistent on the offensive end. And our defense, you know, almost flawless, keeping those third down conversions very limited, which is definitely a plus for us. So I think we'll come out, we'll figure it out, and our offense will get clicking again.
And no reason really to panic. You got a 10-3 lead, and you're frustrated with some things that haven't gone right for you, but you look at the bottom line and take care of business in the second half and try to put some distance between yourselves and Culver Stockton. For the Wildcats, they've got to look at it as, you know, we played from deep in our own territory for the whole first half, and we're only down 7, so we're a play away from being tied with this thing and have a chance to take this here on the road.
Yeah, I think each team right now is saying in the locker room, all right, we've made a lot of mental mistakes. And, you know, once we limit those, it's a different ball game. I think Culver Stockton's saying that. I think Evangel's saying that. But I think you're going to come out and you're going to see 2 teams who are very, very focused, especially in the second half. And it's going to be competitive. Culver's in it, and Evangel really feels like they can run away with this thing. So it should be interesting to see the second half.
Crusaders lead 10-3. Culver Stockton with an early field goal in their first drive, a 34-yarder. That did put them on the board 3-0 on a Michael Camargo field goal, but then the Crusaders got on the board with one play, scoring in a 69-yard touchdown throw from Andrew Brimhall to Jesse Vaughn. Evangel went up 7-3 at the end of one, tacked on a field goal to make it 10-3 as Drew O'Kane hit an 18-yarder with about 2 minutes to go in the first half to put the Crusaders up 10-3, and that's where we stand at the break. Evangel leading Culver Stockton by a touchdown, 10-3, and when we return, Evangel University Public Relations Director Paul K. Logston will visit with guest Dr. Robert Spence, the president of Evangel University. That coming up when our halftime continues after this. Got it? Yes, we are. Yeah, it's kind of we got a fade out that happens when we get it when we peg it. That's why I'm watching that.
2. Can you hear me? All right. Well, good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Evangel Crusader Football Show. I'm Paul K. Logston, and we've been here together doing this for a number of years now. Excited to be back with you. Last time we did this 2 weeks ago, Dr. Spence and I had a nice chat. We heard each other in here in the room, but there was some cutout, and we understand that a lot of what we shared was missed, so we're doing it again.
Well, we'll try to fill in all the blanks this time.
It's good to have you with us, Dr. Spence.
Thank you very much.
It's been a great semester so far.
Oh, we're off to a great start. Great group of freshmen, tremendous group of talented young people, and everything is really moving forward as we started this semester. We mentioned, I think, 2 weeks ago that the following week we would be engaged in what we call Spiritual Emphasis Week,
right.
A week that we have an opportunity as an entire community to give our focus, our attention on some of our spiritual responsibilities and spiritual disciplines. We invite a speaker to come in to be with us. This year we had Herbert Cooper,
former football player,
former member of the Evangel football team. He is now a pastor in Oklahoma City, pastoring a church that he started 10 years ago, and now their weekly attendance is into the thousands. It's been a tremendous growth, but he's a very gifted speaker, and as an alumnus of Evangel, as someone who knows where our students are and has had the personal experience that they have, very, very effective, and just great response on the part of our students.
He's able to bring a perspective to what he shares and a challenge to the students because he knows where they're at because he was there.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, that's the kind of an advantage that I think we have as we move over into the academic area. When we have adjunct professors who are involved in a particular field or in a business, to be able to come and share their personal experiences, it adds a dimension to that coursework that our students really, really do appreciate.
The Spiritual Emphasis Week takes place twice a year. Have you set yet who the speaker is going to be in the spring?
Yes, we have. It's actually, we're going to bring in a team that will be focusing attention on the opportunities that students will have after they leave campus, after they're graduated, to give their influence and to lend their talents to the establishment of new churches.
Okay.
And it's a different, really a different approach for the week than we've ever had before. But we're really looking forward to it. Believe it's going to be well received by our students.
Well, a lot of things took place on campus even before the students got back. Of course, there's always a lot of planning to make them feel welcome. And Dr. Bundrick shared a letter that came a couple of days ago from a parent that was just raving about how wonderful things were, how welcome they felt, the planning that went into things. But some of the things that your average person driving by Glenstone may not see is the renovation of residence halls.
Well, we've been in the process over the past 10 years or so, renovating our residence halls. And this summer, we were able to do one half of Lewis Hall. Lewis is the largest of our residence halls. Because of its size, we could not do the entire building, but we did one half of it. And that work really made it possible for that building to be actually restored to the brand new status. And it was stripped right down to the bare concrete and then put back together again with a lot of additional installation, new window units in it that have a much higher R factor, painted, of course, throughout, new carpeting, new furniture. So
it's a new hall.
It's an absolutely new hall.
And the efficiency rating of the new windows and new insulation on the walls,
of
course, helps us a lot.
That will help us certainly help us with our utilities.
The academic side, We have added some new majors this year. Let's start talking with the worship leadership program.
Well, that's in the music area, and we have a lot of students who have musical talent, of course. You know, we just have been watching the band out on the field, and you look at that group and just, you know, you just marvel at the tremendous talent there. But there are a lot of students who have a keen interest in music. They want to be involved in music, church music, music that often is used in a concert venue, that sort of thing that attracts teenagers. They may not be talented themselves as musicians, but they have a great affection for music. And this is a program that allows those people to be able to approach music from the production side. What does it take to put together all of the pieces that make it possible for people to appreciate what is being presented in the music field?
So it's a mix of the music and the technology side.
That's right.
Excellent. Another program that's geared toward the church is probably geared a little more toward an older student in our degree completion program, somebody who is perhaps never finished a degree, or they have a degree but now they want to be more involved in church work.
Well, it's the church ministry leadership program, and as you say, it really does attract a student who has had previous college experience but did not receive a degree. And so this program allows them to bring in what they have had in the past, some life experience, and put together the additional components that are necessary to get a degree. And that has proved to be very, very popular.
And it's online.
And it will be, or at least a portion of it will be offered online.
Excellent. The last new major we have is in the business program here for not-for-profits and those interested in social enterprise programs like Convoy of Hope, for example.
Well, we're blessed not only here in our community but across our nation with many organizations that are referred to as parachurch. They are not restricted to a particular denomination, but they have a Christian mission. And in their interdenominational mode, or kind of their neutral standing, they're able to attract support across the church spectrum. And there are people that want to be involved in that type of work and want to be in the business management that those organizations require. So that program has attracted a lot of attention, and a good many of our incoming students have declared a major in that field. And they want to be involved in something that is related to ministry. This provides an opportunity for them to combine their business training, their business interest, with very direct work in church-related fields.
Do we find that we're getting response from those who may have thought in terms of like the social work area because of the social volunteerism and that type of thing?
I don't know. I would not be able to say whether there was anybody that had been in that track that wanted to move over. It's been more a matter of people that were wanting to major in business and see this as a way to have some spiritual involvement that satisfies a desire for that.
The last thing we need to touch on before Ed comes back in about a minute and a half is homecoming. And homecoming is always an exciting time of year, coming up in about 3 weeks.
Well, you know, that's the time when we have hundreds and hundreds of alumni that come back to campus. Some of them come every year. But we will have again this year, we'll have people that have not been with us for 10 years, 20 years. We have some that will come back to homecoming this year that may not have been with us for 30 years. And those are the people who will be surprised at the changes that have taken place. But it's always great to have our alumni back. It'll be a great weekend, and we're looking forward to it.
Those dates are October 11th through 13th. Anybody who's interested can go online to Evangel, www.evangel.edu. And the website has lots of information, everything from hotels to the entire schedule.
Paul, I want to thank you for the opportunity to chat with you during halftime, and hopefully our team will put a little more cushion on the scoreboard.
Yeah, as long as they stay in the plus side, I'm good with it. Good
we
to see you.
we just appreciate the great job you do, Paul.
Thank you very much, and this is Paul K. Logston saying stay tuned. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes after this Crusader halftime show break. Thank you.
At one point he texted and said, get him a little closer to the mic. Yeah. The video, it's Parkview Viking stuff, but yeah. Well, yeah, and if it wasn't, this thing would be a sloppy mess. So we're liking it, at least, you know, even though they didn't put our colors in it. Glad the video's working. It was kind of freezing up a little bit 2 weeks ago. We welcome you back to JFK Stadium. Halftime, and Evangel leads Culver Stockton 10-3 at intermission. Evangel looking to get their first conference win. They entered today at 1-1. We're 0-1 in the league. Culver Stockton 0-2, both losses within the conference. Fell at Graceland to start the year, 28-17. Lost at home to Peru State 48-21. A Peru State team, by the way, that doesn't look too bad out of the gate, even though they took a loss to Baker. Saw certainly that firsthand how good the Wildcats are, so no crime in that defeat. Even though it was at home to the Baker Wildcats. Today in the conference, only 3 other games, and all within the conference. Benedictine is at Graceland. That for the Benedictine Ravens, their first conference game of the year. Their first 2 games, non-conference clubs, and the Ravens enter the day ranked 6th nationally. And on the road at Graceland, a short trip for them from Atchison to Lamoni. Avila is at Missouri Valley. The Vikings, after a big win and a lopsided one at Mid-America Nazarene a week ago, moves from 9th to 5th in the country. They're at home against Avila today, an Eagles team 0-2 and 0-1 in the conference. And also tonight, Baker is at Central Methodist, which could be kind of an interesting game. Baker, as we mentioned, jumping to number 9 nationally, actually tied for 9th, but a veteran Central Methodist club. And that could be an interesting one in Fayette. Or not, if that's one of those games that Baker win handily, then look out, Heart of America Conference. But as it is, it's going to be an interesting league race. There are 3 teams in the conference ranked in the top 10, 4 of them in the top 15. It's a crowded field. Bunch of Heart of America schools, Wes, populate not just the top 25, but high up in it.
Yeah, we have Missouri, Moval, Benedictine, Baker, and Mid-America, and a quality ball club. So tough conference, competitive conference.
And really top to bottom. As Culver Stockton kicks off to the Crusaders, Denzel Purnell from his own 15 gets across the 30, and then is tripped up and stopped at his own 33-yard line, where Evangel will have it. Well, one thing about the unfortunate ending to where the first half ended for the Evangel offense with that turnover, you get it right away to start the third, and if you can kind of jumpstart something here, Wes, and you can kind of maybe erase that taste out of your mouth, or get that out of your mouth from the turnover to end the first half, if you can get points on the board to start the second.
I think it's important for our offense to get started early. We saw that in the first half, unable to sustain that throughout the half. But going into the third quarter, I think it creates a momentum and a focus in our guys that will continue throughout the second half. So look for us to start out strong.
Blown back behind the quarterback, Andrew Brimhall, as he will go to work and get a handoff on a draw play to Otis Brown, who gets a carry in the first play of the second half. He gets stacked up at around the 42-yard line, a yard shy of the first down, but a good run by Brown to start half number 2, getting a second and short.
Otis Brown in the backfield is just another weapon that we have back there. And man, he's got some explosive speed and definitely a weapon that we haven't seen him use this facet, but it'll be fun to watch him in that position.
Second down and 2 from the 41. Handoff on a draw to Brown. Gets near the first down marker before he's stacked up. This will depend on the spot, as he got progress to about the 43 before he got stopped, and will depend on where they mark him down, whether it's a first down or not. There's a new rule, by the way, and the officials just announced it. The helmet of Evangel tight end Justin Breedlove came off, and that means he's got to sit out a play. That was a 2-yard pickup and a first down for Otis Brown there for the Crusaders. So first and 10 Evangel, all spotted near the 44-yard line of the Crusaders. Just underway in the second half, a 10-3 lead for Evangel as we start the third period. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Brimhall on a delay handoff to Otis Brown, gets around the near side and is taken down around the 4-6. He showed his speed there, Wes, because there were 2 Wildcats right there to make a tackle, and neither one could close the distance.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of room to run excuse me, right there, but was able to make a little bit of something out of nothing, as you saw him just turn on the afterburners, and he just got around that outside corner, as we see there in the replay.
Lines up to be a gain of 3. And it's second down and 7 for Evangel at the 47-yard line of the Crusaders. Brimhall out of the shotgun, back to throw. Big pressure is on, but he dumps it off to Meyer. There goes a flag as Meyer gets to the 45 of Culver at the 40, at the 35, and then is run into bounds on the near sideline if the play holds up. And you have a feeling it won't. Joe Beaver, the assistant head coach for Evangel, and the offensive coordinator, kind of with his hands held out, looking at their officiating crew as they point fingers downfield and try to come up for decipher the call. Well, we saw that happen a couple of times last season. I wonder if it's the same crew we saw that called that left and right at Peru State.
I was watching that unfold, and I really was hoping that they weren't going to call that on boat May, but they did. That it really was nothing that would elicit a personal foul, but head slap.
That's automatic, though. You put something, put your hands to the head or a head slap like that, it's 15 yards. Brimhall on second and 15, scrambling, now going to run at the 40, slides down to the 45, so gets back about 15 yards that they lost on the penalty, plus another 2 yards. It'll be third down and 9, I think, for Evangel on about a 16-yard scramble by Brimhall.
Well, he really picked up speed as he was running up the middle there, able to get across the previous line of scrimmage and really erase that penalty.
You know, he's not really a running quarterback, but he can take off. I mean, he can get downfield in a hurry. Scrambling to his left here, fires over the middle, and a sliding grab made. They hang on. As that's Josh Booker with a sliding catch. Culver Stockton says it's incomplete. Now one of the officials is going to agree, I think. I thought he had it. It was at the 35-yard line of Culver, but incomplete. It's going to be fourth down and 9 for Evangel. They're going to be forced to punt.
We'll take a look at that on the replays. Brimhall makes a nice throw.
And it came out. A good call there is Brimhall with the incompletion.
Once again, we're seeing something that is a little concerning as that pocket collapses. Brimhall is finding that his time to throw the ball is being limited.
High snap to the punter, Booker, but he makes the grab and then gets a good punt downfield. That'll get inside the 10, take big kick forward, and go into the end zone for the touchback. Well, that looked good because he had a lot on the punt. and it bounced it around the 12-yard line and thought Evangel might have a chance to get down there and down it, but could not. And Culver Stockton will be back on the field, trailing 10-3. Now, you're down 7, but again, Wes, you're in a spot that's not all bad. If you're the Wildcats, you're definitely very much in this game and in a position to be a real threat to the lead here.
Well, they're ranked 4th in the HAC, averaging 200 yards per game, so they are an offensive threat, and they've had most of their opportunities snuffed because of their field position, but we can't get too careless with our defense here.
That is a pass, though, that'll go incomplete. And Culver Stockton from their own 20-yard line will now have 2nd down and 10 on a pass near side that went for an incompletion. Wildcats only rushed for 32 yards in the first half, threw for only 49, was 7 of 14 through the air. High formation set, handoff, second man through, will get a push from the 22 to 23-yard line. A gain of 3 on a run right at the middle as they go to Desmond Phillips, who had 12 rushes for 22 yards in the opening half. Going to credit him for 4 yards on that carry, but 3rd down and 6 as Phillips goes limping off. Third and 6. Culver Stockton at their own 24-yard line. Widener back to throw. And the pocket collapses. He's wrapped up and taken down. The first sack for the Evangel defense today. But they've had good pressure all night, Wes, and that time got to him for loss of yards.
We've been close all night. We've put a lot of pressure on him, as you said, but there we were able to get him before he got rid of the ball. And that really puts the pressure on their O-line, and looks like we had about 3 or 4 guys in there, but
looked like Preston Henry kind of made the quarterback step forward and wound up getting taken to the turf by Kalen Hayes. Now the punt, angling to the far side, going to be caught at the 39-yard line, bobbled, but picked up by the Crusaders, who wind up getting wrestled out of bounds at the 37-yard line of Evangel. The Crusaders will have it there, still leading 10-3 with 10:42 remaining in our third quarter.
Once again, got pretty good field position. Let's see if we can do something here in the second half, get our offense rolling, get a little bit of a rhythm going, and put some points up on the board and create a little bit of distance.
Garrett Swan comes in at quarterback now in the third period. He was 1 of 5 passing in that opening quarter, but had a good drive going for the Crusaders, led them deep downfield in what resulted in a missed field goal. Here's a handoff to Tommy Meyer, right side. Nothing there, but now makes a cutback. Kind of works his way to about the 39 or 40 before he stopped. Looked like nothing, but winds up with a gain of 2. You kind of like that from your running back.
Isn't that just like Meyer? I mean, he's going to get hit, but he's not going to go down. He's going to give you positive yardage. He's going to give you his 100% on each carry.
Gain of 2, 2nd down and 8. All spotted at the Evangel 39-yard line. Garrett Swan, a freshman out of Texas. 5'11", 196 pounds. He's back to throw, rolling near side. Sets up. Now he's going to try to scramble and run. Gets at the 40 and spun down. A 1-yard pickup by Swan. And there you see why he's in there a little bit as a freshman to get some experience. Wasn't quite sure what to do with it, Wes, as he kind of got in between. Do I take off and run downfield, or do I hit the brakes to the line of scrimmage and throw it?
Yeah, a little bit of indecision there cost him, but that's something you learn with time. And it looks like he had a little bit of room to run. We're watching on the replay right here. He kind of just stops and hesitates. I think he goes for the run. He gets a few more yards, but he'll learn as he continues to get more experience.
3rd down and 7. He's back to throw, looking for his side, guns it there, and it's just offline. Mitch McHenry could not quite haul it in at the 50-yard line, and it goes incomplete. And the Crusaders punt team comes in.
Swan really does have a good arm. I mean, if you watch him, he does play the passing game well. See there.
Didn't quite come out clean. It looked a little wobbly when you saw the replay. Actually, when you saw it live, it looked like it was just a little offline. They like the way he plays the intermediate passing game, the coaching staff does. He hits the underneath stuff well. Brimhall, we've seen, throws a deep ball fantastically well as the punt from Booker goes off to the far side and goes out of bounds on the fly, but he got taken to the turf, Wes.
Yeah, it's a big break for us. Sold it well.
Well, he's not an easy guy to knock down. He's a good-sized punter wide receiver at 6'2", 212. So you're going to have to hit him to take him down, and he was on the turf and drew the flag. Is it running into or a real roughing? That'll be the question. Well, it's still fourth down, as they say it's a running into the kicker penalty. So it's only 5 yards, and Evangel doesn't have enough for the first down out of it. They're now at their own 45, and the punt team's still out. Booker stands at his own 31. The punt will come from the 35. 9:12 to go in the third. Evangel still leading Culver Stockton 10-3. There's the snap. Punt from Booker away. Wobbly punt down to the far side. It'll be caught, then bobbled. It's a loose ball at the 16-yard line. Still a loose ball as it goes to the far sideline. Evangel thinks they've got it. Do they have it? Lamar Allen comes out of there with a football, and I believe this is going to be Evangel's ball, but Culver Stockton, that was one of their coaches all the way to the hash marks, or maybe just to encourage the defense, as I believe this is going to be Evangel football.
Let's take a look at that again. Had good coverage on the punt.
They lost it. It's going to be Evangel ball at the 15-yard line of the Wildcats.
We just had several guys there. Josh Lone hits him initially. Jostling ball loose, and Lamar Allen's able to go in there and clean up.
Wes Drew Bolheis just missed that. I mean, it hit him right on the hands and right in the chest. That's like a drop fly ball.
Yeah, you know, we've seen several miscues on punts as far as punt returners. I'm wondering if there's something that's causing vision or just trouble.
Brimhall back in at quarterback. Gets a handoff to Meyer across the 10, inside the 5, and dragged down from behind there. But it looks like a first down carry of the Crusaders and a goal-to-go situation.
This is where we take advantage of miscues. This is where we start to punish their mental mess-ups. And it's crucial for us, to strike now and to more or less put the nail in the coffin.
Angel could not quite do that in the second quarter of this game. And now here's a handoff to Meyer, looking near side, breaks a tackle, gets to the 5. There goes a flag as he gets progress to about the 3 before he's pushed back. The flag came in right at the line of scrimmage as a hole was opening up a couple of yards upfield.
Just a swarm of white jerseys as we learned.
Holding called on Evangel. So this will back up Evangel 10 yards, but it'll definitely open up the field a little bit.
You don't like to see that in the red zone. Don't like to see those penalties, especially with our running game and Myers, how he powers his way in. You like to see him get a chance to do that instead of working 10 yards back.
Penalties have kind of been a thorn in our side.
Yeah.
Was last week against Baker. Just some inopportune times a week ago. A lot of penalties in week 1, and we've got a timeout here by the Crusaders. They've got a first and goal, but from the 14-yard line after the holding call. Evangel leading 10-3, but looking to add to their margin as we're midway through this third period. 8:14 to go in the third. Timeout on the field, and we're back after this.
These kids almost had a new community center. A contractor almost volunteered to build it. A carpenter almost worked on the crew. And everyone else almost gave at the fundraiser. They almost gave. Almost. And these kids? Well, they almost stayed out of trouble.
their second turnover of the night. Evangel trying to add to their lead. First and goal still, but from the 14 after the holding call. Brimhall from the shotgun. Fakes a handoff to Meyer, back to throw, scrambles near side, looks downfield, fires over the middle toward the end zone, and a sliding grab made, and it appears to be a touchdown for the Crusaders as Sean Hebert with a sliding grab makes the catch 7 yards deep in the end zone.
There we see Sean Hebert, who we've missed so far this year. We saw him in a play earlier in the first half, but he's able to cut across the middle and make the dive and catch. What a play by Sean Hebert on his first game back.
A Louisiana native makes a terrific catch. Now the extra point by O'Kane. Good. That's what Evangel needed. They take a 17-3 lead now on the Wildcats, as we'll keep it here during the break with 8:06 to go in the third. Impressed, too, is a great catch, a great sliding catch by Sean Hebert, a sophomore from Louisiana. But Brimhall, too, scrambled and kind of made that play happen, creating some time for his receivers and scrambling out of the pocket.
And tell you what, Andrew Brimhall is used to that sort of behavior and that sort of movement, and able to throw a strike. There really wasn't any leeway on that throw. One way or another, that ball's going to get batted down, but made a nice throw, and Hebert is able to come up with a nice catch. And it's nice to see us taking advantage of a Culver Stockton miscue, and it's nice to see us convert on good field, on having good field advantage.
Crusaders kicking off now. Brimhall's second TD throw of the night. Hebert's first catch of the season, having missed a couple of games with an ankle injury. Welcomed back with a 14-yard TD reception. Now Drew O'Kane to kick off from the 35. He'll put it away. End over and kick. It'll be fielded at the 8-yard line. Returned upfield at the 15, across the 25. And then a tackle made to take him down to the 33-yard line, and a nice return from Dan Boyd. Wildcats have it there. There's an injured Crusader. Made the tackle right around the point of the tackle. Wildcats will have it around their own 34-yard line, now trailing 17-3, and West, now they're in a spot where they need to answer.
Yeah, they've had opportunities, but our defense has played exceptionally well, and I really think that we're going to lock down on them here, but for the Wildcats here, you really have to start connecting and clicking, because time is running out in that third quarter, and you don't want to be down by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Puts too much pressure on your offense. So they're going to look to try to get something going here.
Cam Bruffett was shaken up in the play, but came off. They faked the handoff. Widener goes deep to the far side and has a man, and then it's nearly picked off. He underthrew it, which was good, because it allowed Denzel Purnell to run underneath it, and he almost hauled that in for the pick.
Would have been a nice play by Denzel Purnell, but once again you see a ball that's underthrown, due in part to our defensive line creating a lot of pressure and a lot of problems for the Wildcats quarterback.
Had his receiver out there, but did not quite make that connection, and Purnell made a diving attempt and almost had it. Now second down and 10 with the Wildcats at their own 34. A lay handoff and a draw up the middle. They're going to take it to the 40-yard line and a gain of about 6 or 7 yards. Again, Phillips went limping out a moment ago. That was Maurice Childs on the carry, and he gets a 7-yard gain to the 40. It's 3rd and 3. Third down and 3. Wildcats need to convert this. Now trailing Evangel 17-3 midway through the third. Widener with a lone back behind him. A long count. He's going to give it to Childs, who's met right away and taken down to the 35. Had no chance. Well, they were on him fast, Wes, and in fact, as soon as he got the ball, there were two maroon jerseys right on him.
Preston Henry really putting a lot of pressure on that play. You can see here in the replay.
Henry was there along with Tabor Chio. One other Crusader got there too.
Bringing our backers in on that.
Now the punt is a line drive and a short punt that'll bounce at the Evangel 40. Take a Culver-Stockton roll inside the 35 and out of bounds at around the 33. Evangel will have the ball there with a 17-3 lead with 6:32 to play here in the first, or make it the third quarter. Third period with Evangel out in front. Mark it at the 34 where the Evangel offense will take over. Listening to Evangel Sports on ESPN 1400 and the World Wide Web at audiosportsonline.com with audio and live video broadcasts. Next week, Louisiana, as the Crusaders take on Division I Nicholls State in Thibodaux, Louisiana. A week from tonight, our broadcast coverage starts at 5:45 next Saturday. Delay handoff, back to throw. Brimhall looking downfield, now escapes a would-be tackler in the backfield, dumps it off, and it's deflected and incomplete. Had Otis Brown after scrambling back and forth across the field, but one of the linemen for the Wildcats able to bat it down and keep Brown from getting it at 2nd and 10.
Doing a lot of running there. A lot of evasive action. Unable to come up with
Covered
anything.
a lot of turf, but no gain. Had he connected with Brown, Otis may have gotten upfield a ways, but it's 2nd and 10. Now a delay handoff to Brown. It gets across the 35 and pushes a pile to the 40-yard line for the gain of 6. He's looked good at running back, only a half dozen carries, but 45 yards.
One thing that has been impressive to me about his running game is he's fast, yes, but he doesn't stop once he gets in. I mean, he carries his defenders a long ways. And
yeah, he doesn't look like a wide receiver playing running back, does he?
No, he moves and he doesn't get brought down easily.
3rd and 4 for Evangel at their own 40-yard line. 5:47 to go third quarter. Brimhall back to throw. Fires to the far side, and it's caught by Vaughn at the 50, at the 40, 35-30, makes a man miss. At the 15, at the 10, he will score. Touchdown Crusaders, and a great run after the catch by Vaughn on his second TD catch of the night. 60 yards for the score to Jesse Vaughn.
If you don't catch Vaughn on that sideline, it is curtains for you. And he made two Wildcat defenders look foolish as he just blistered past them. Can't say enough about this youngster.
Here's the extra point by O'Kane, and it is perfect. And Evangel extends the lead to 24-3. 5:34 to go in the third period. Evangel extends the lead on Vaughn's second TD catch of the night. With a timeout, we will return to JFK after this.
What is that thing?
Looks like somebody's double chin. Must have lost it snacking on fruits and vegetables.
Somebody's gonna trip on that.
But he turned one defender inside out on his way to the end zone.
Yeah, you see last year, he catches that ball. He usually gains 5 more yards this year. Wow, he just shows explosion.
Now the kickoff from Evangel, angling to the far side. Caught by Culver Stockton from their 5. Return to the 20. And across the 25 to the 30. And Jerry Nash moves the pile forward to about the 35-yard line, and a good return for the Wildcats. Now looking for some momentum on life after falling behind 24-3. Kind of in the same spot they've been. They have, the last 2 weeks anyway, they've had some good moments tonight, but a couple of big plays for the Crusaders and a defense that's really stymied the Wildcats since the opening period. Has kept the Cats bottled up and now in a big hole. They will start this drive with an I formation. Widener still in at quarterback. Handoff up the middle to Phillips. And he'll get about 3 yards up the middle from his own 36 to about his own 39.
Our defense really hasn't let the Wildcats get comfortable. They've never really been in a rhythm. The yards and the possessions where they've marched on us a little bit. We've made some mental mistakes and we've had some penalties, but our defense for the most part has stifled this Wildcat offense.
2nd down and 7. Again, an I formation set for Culver Stockton. Widener will throw it out near side. Caught at the 41. A big hit put on. They get a stop right there for only a gain of 2. Lamar Allen drilling wide receiver Kevin Chisholm.
Make some big plays, get some big stops, and you're feeling confident. You go and make a hit like that, that really gets the team revved up.
Looking for Cam Bruffett. It's Evangel with some depth in the secondary, and you got a guy like Allen you can put in. I mean, they rotate those guys around anyway. So Crusaders now have a 3rd and 5 against their defense for the Wildcats at their own 40-yard line. Pass thrown over the middle, caught, and now a foot race to the 40, to the 35, the 30, and Evangel able to run down the man as Purnell closed the gap and prevented a touchdown to throw over the middle on a big play to Stephen Watson.
Honestly, from the outset of that play, it looked like that was a touchdown, but Denzel Purnell turning on the afterburners, somehow able to catch up to him. Really showed his speed right there.
A 48-yard gain as they take it all the way to the 11. Yeah, that looked like a touchdown, and Purnell just able to run him down and prevent the score.
That's a big play. I mean, he gets into the end zone, it's a different game, but to stop him right there, they've struggled in the red zone. That's big for us.
Now a short drop by Widener, lobs it toward the end zone, and it is batted around and caught for a touchdown as the ball got batted in the air once or twice and then hauled in by Ricardo Ragsdale. That was a crazy play. It was batted by Ragsdale and the defender, and on really a second or third chance as it got popped up, Ragsdale hauled it in.
We have really struggled getting those balls up for grabs, the one that are kind of bouncing up there. We have not been the lucky recipients of those.
We're due for some of those to go our way, aren't we? Here's the extra point by the Wildcats, and it is up and no good. Camargo missed it wide left. But Culver Stockton gets their first touchdown of the night, an 11-yard touchdown throw from Widener to Watson to make it 24-9. Evangel out in front with 3:17 left in the third quarter. And we will return to JFK Stadium after this commercial break.
May I have your attention, please, with the owner of the spare tire, slightly hairy, with a little brown mole to the left of the belly button. It's an innie. Please report to the press box and retrieve your appendage. Oh, they must have lost this parking further away from the stadium and walking in. Okay, we're back to the action.
Back at JFK Stadium, Culver Stockton came out of the break and tried an onside kick that winds up rolling out of bounds. There's a personal foul in the play, though, on Culver Stockton. This could be costly for the Wildcats. Their kicker, Camargo, kind of held his arms out like somebody, I kicked it down there perfect and no one tracked it down. He sent it on the ground downfield, and the Wildcats chased after it, and Evangel let the ball roll out of bounds. They're going to deny the penalty, and the Crusaders will have it at their own 36.
How scary is both of us were waving our arms for that ball to get to the sideline.
Trying to push it there like we're pushing it foul. Trying to keep with a baseball analogy, West. 1st and 10, Evangel. A handoff to Myers, cut down around the line of scrimmage. May have lost a yard. Evangel fans wanted a penalty as Sean Hebert got thrown to the turf, maybe a little late. And on something that happened way away from where the play went. And no gain for Myers, 2nd down and 10. Tommy with 65 yards of rushing on 16 carries tonight. Angel at 2nd down and 10. Ball spotted at their own 36. Myers still in, the lone back behind Brim Hall, who's under center. They fake the handoff to him. Brim Hall steps up in the pocket, scrambles to the far side, throws on the run, looking for Vaughn downfield, who makes an incredible catch over 2 defenders and is dragged down to the 19. How did he get that? Wow. Well, Brim Hall put it on the money, but still Vaughn had to go up on 2 defenders and get it, and he did.
Brim Hall just trusted Vaughn to go up and grab that ball, and Vaughn, not overly tall, not a huge person, but he went up and he grabbed it in double coverage. Nice catch by Jesse Vaughn.
A 40-yard gain, and it's 1st and 10 Evangel at the Culver Stockton 20. Handoff Meyer right side, breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, gets to the 15, and then is cut down there for a gain of about 5. Evangel with a big play, and now down deep into Culver Stockton territory again.
One thing that we had talked about was this Evangel offense getting into a rhythm and starting off 3rd quarter, getting that initial score. We're really starting to see that rhythm come, and that's something that we've been needing to see for a couple games now.
Handoff Meyer right side, gets upfield at the 15, pushes a pile forward to about the 11 before he is stopped. Instead of a 3rd and short play for the Crusaders, as they appear to be just shy of the 1st down. I believe a defensive player for Culver Stockton that lost a helmet. See how long that rule stays in place. Something that happens in the closing minute or a key play. Now, granted, if you get your helmet ripped off, if it's a face mask penalty, then it's nullified. But we'll see. Here's Meyer running up the middle. Gets stopped. May not have the 1st down. He fights forward trying to get to the 10, but that's going to be close, and it's going to depend on the spot. A good push up front for the Wildcats.
Understandable rule with the helmet coming off, the player having to leave for the next play, but you're absolutely right. That's going to be challenged.
Going to annoy coaches is what's going to happen. That's where that rule will be debated, I'm sure, later. They stop him shy. Evangel going to go for the field. Well, wait a minute. They're going to go for the 4th down in one play. Handoff, Meyer up the middle. He's going to fight across the 10 and get it. There goes another helmet that came flying off, and I think that might have been helped off. I don't see a flag yet, though, as Tyler Preffett, who's come back from an injury. And sure enough, Preffett is going to have to sit a play as he came back from injury. But I'm not sure that one just came off on its own. But Meyer to 1st down as Evangel goes for it, Wes, on a 4th and 1.
Why not? You're up 24-9. Your defense has done a fantastic job of stifling this offense. Good field position. Absolutely go for it.
You want position here to try to put the game away or try to finish a drive. You've been frustrated at times today. 1st and goal from the 9. Handoff, Meyer up the middle, across the 5. He scores! Meyer with a big hole up the middle, gets into the end zone, and gets TD. A 9-yard scoring run by Meyer with 8 seconds to go in the quarter.
Got to know that eventually Tommy Meyer's going to find himself some space, and he's going to get himself a touchdown, and there you have it. Tommy Meyer with the nice, strong run.
Extra point now from Drew O'Kane to add to the Evangel lead. Snap is high, but they get the hold down, and the kick from O'Kane is good. And Evangel extends the lead to 31-9 with 8 seconds to go in the quarter. Late third period, Evangel extends the lead and a touchdown run by Meyer with a timeout. We're back after this.
All right, Commissioner, hold on. I'll tell him.
Honey, it's Phil. The gold reserve is being attacked.
Tell him I'll be right there.
Don't get to shut the window.
What? All right. What's the joke? What's so funny?
To our guys, and especially if we convert on that, say, hey, Coach really believes that we're going to do this, and we were able to get into the end zone, and that's going to help us later in this season.
O'Kane booms a kick 4 yards deep in the end zone, and they're going to bring it out. At the 10, he's met, and the Crusaders get a stop there, and Culver Stockton's going to be pinned deep with 0.8 seconds left in the third. We'll see if they have time to run off a play or whether that'll bring the end to the third. The Crusaders with 3 TDs here in this third quarter. They mark Culver Stockton down at their 12-yard line.
Looks like
number may have been a tad generous.
Yeah. Looks like number 43, Cody Christner, got in there and made the open field tackle. Nice job on the coverage by Cody Christner.
Culver Stockton gets to run one play to end the quarter, and a pass over the middle is going to be caught at the 15 and taken to the 25 at the 30. Another race on, and the Crusaders will make the tackle around midfield, and a fumble, and Evangel's going to have it. Wow. Another break as Nick Hill had it, got all the way across the 50, and then as he was caught from behind, was stripped of the football, and Evangel has it at their 37-yard line.
We take a look at that again. Looked like Lamar Allen just chased him down, grabbed him by the back, and just ripped it out of his hands.
Lamar Allen caught him. I'm not sure he was, well, it's hard to tell if he was trying to strip it away or not. Just really trying to get a tackle. But the ball came out, and Evangel will have it when we start the fourth quarter. 31-9 Evangel through 3, and we're back with the fourth quarter when we return in a minute.
Man, what is that? It looks like someone's belly. Probably lost it walking on the beach. Man, just leave it. Let's go.
Allen just chase him down and strip the ball. Really good to see our defense.
Evangel at their own 36. They're going to dump a pass out that's intercepted and taken by the Culver Stockton defense to the 15, to the 10, and they'll score. Taken away by Kyron Kemp. Or Tyron Kemp just leaped up, made the grab at his defensive line position, and then walked in. They had a play like that in the first half but didn't make a catch. This time Kemp hangs on and takes it around 30 to 35 yards for the score.
That's not an easy play to make. Kemp get his hands up there, knocks it up, and catches it. Showing a lot of athletic ability as they tack on the extra point.
Well, Culver Stockton gets on the board early, just 8 seconds into the fourth quarter. And it's kind of a reminder, Wes, that this game is still, you got a 31-9 lead and you kind of feel a little comfortable. Well, you got a lot of football to play yet, and some miscues can swing things in a hurry. This thing could get really interesting fast. So you still have to be mindful of finishing this game out well, because Culver Stockton's showing they're not quite done yet.
It really doesn't matter who you play in this conference. Everyone's going to give you a competitive game, and I tell you what, even last week when we were playing against Baker and Baker was kind of putting it to us, they still were making sure that they were putting their foot on the throat. So likewise, we need to do the same and make sure we lock down defensively and offensively and say, no, this is our ball game, and really take charge of it right now.
31-16 Crusaders. Evangel had a 10-3 lead at halftime. Outscored the Wildcats 21-6 in the third. But Culver Stockton scores on the first play of the fourth quarter with an interception and a return for a touchdown of about 30 yards. Tyron Kemp able to run it back. Here's the kickoff from the Wildcats, sent on the ground on the middle of the field. Fielded by Evangel to the 25, returned near side 30, and chased out of bounds at around the 35-yard line of the Crusaders, and Zach Reed. Evangel, decent field position, and you know that the miscue now will sharpen up the senses for the Evangel offense. Evangel at their own 35 to start this drive. Crusaders in home maroon jerseys, maroon pants, going from our left to our right. Different helmet this year. You got the EU logo on the side like they've had in years past, but now a number on the other side. Harkening back to the 90s when Evangel had some great runs in some fantastic seasons. Lay handoff, and there goes a flag as Brown got tripped up at around the 36 or 37. There's going to be a hold called on Evangel. I think they're calling that on Keith Wright, who wound up on the turf. But Evangel will be backed up 10 yards, still first down.
I think the difference we've seen in our offense is the impact of O-lineman Tyler Previtt. It's good to see him back.
That is good to see him back in the lineup. Austin Osbury hopes to return in about a month. Hand off, big hole for Brown across the 35 to 40 at the 45-50. Has a blocker in front of him. Vaughn gets in the way of a defender. He's at the 15, at the 10, at the 5, dives with a pylon, and they say he's just out at the 1.
Well, we're having two calls on that, looks like.
Did you see somebody raise their arms? Yeah. The guy downfield, the field judge says he's out of the 1 yard line. But what a run by Otis Brown. And Evangel's going to have a first and goal from the 1 yard line.
First goal, number 1.
Evangel in a short yardage situation. They get a pitch to Brown, and he missed it. It's rolling free at the 19-yard line. Then coughed up again. It's a scramble, and I think Culver Stockton may have it. They do. And you heard a roar from the far sideline. And wow. Well, you talk about flating.
Wow.
Evangel with a spectacular play. A play away from probably a sure touchdown.
Yeah.
And then it blew up.
Not quite sure what happened there. Just not sure if Brown and Bremhall were on a different count. Looked like Brown might have not moved, or Bremhall just missed him. I couldn't tell which one it was, but it doesn't really matter. Another miscue. Wow.
That play winds up going backwards 19 yards on a bad pitch. And 1st and 10 for Culver Stockton at their own 20-yard line. Widener back to throw, and he's grabbed and taken down for the sack. Dropped to the 14-yard line.
I tell you what, our defense has really done a good job. I mean, the touchdown, when we were up 31-9, our defense still didn't give up a touchdown. That was our offense that gave that up. So it's nice to know that our defense will get a couple stops, even if we make even if we make miscues. But hopefully our offense will be able to figure it out later in this game.
Angels' 3rd turnover today. 2 turnovers in the 4th quarter, of which we have only played less than 2 minutes. An eventful 2 minutes, huh? There's flags as the ball is not snapped. So Culver Stockton calls a timeout to avoid a delay of game. So wipe out the flag and a timeout instead. We'll take a break as well. Culver Stockton hanging in. They've got an opportunity now to get back in this thing. They trail Evangel 31-16 early 4th quarter, and we're back to JFK Stadium after this.
This is Jack Thomas. Today, someone almost brought Jack something to eat. Someone almost drove him to a shelter. And someone else almost brought him a warm blanket. And Jack Thomas? Well, he almost made it through the night.
Back at JFK Stadium, Culver Stockton with a short drop. And on 2nd down and 15, they hit a wide receiver out in the flat. They're going to give it an 11-yard pickup. Going to be shy of the 1st down, but they're able to find Reed Ludsford downfield, and he's able to get them at least a manageable 3rd down play.
Just as I start to talk about the rhythm of our offense, we seem to completely lose it.
We had the big play, and the crowd electrified, and you're thinking, here comes a score on a 1-yard play, and it just kind of exploded. Now 3rd and 5 for Culver Stockton. Flags fly, and a pass that's broken up over the middle. And we'll have to wait and see what the penalty marker is about. It looked like Evangel tried to time that snap. See if Culver Stockton moved. They did. It's a dead ball foul. Otherwise, I don't think Evangel would probably want this penalty taken. Otherwise, it would be 3rd down or 4th down and 5. Now it's 3rd down and 10. Or does Evangel have the option to deny it? They let the play go. Brent Nealon was talking to the field judge on the near sideline saying, well, wait a minute. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, better late than never. Just don't assume we're going to take every one of them. Now 4th and 5. That's a punting situation for Culver Stockton in their own end of the 25-yard line. This will bring in Dylan Kluwoon to punt. And again, he's back deep in his own territory. He'll punt it from his own 15. Under pressure, got it away. Fair catch called for, made, then dropped, but picked back up at the 41-yard line. I thought he signaled for the fair catch.
Yeah.
They never called it. And Tyrell Hemingway ran out of bounds, pushed out of bounds on the far side of the 41.
Seen a lot of miscues tonight. And special teams, especially our punt returners, had a hard time reeling it in. Caused some issues for us.
There's penalty flags too. And so Evangel's special teams group hasn't left the field. The penalty flag is on the Culver Stockton side of the field of the 48.
kicking team. Set for the end of the run, 10 yards. First down, Evangel.
Evangel will get a break out of that on a penalty on Culver Stockton. So they'll go from their 41 upfield to around midfield or maybe across it. It is not a spot foul. There really was no return, so this will give Evangel field position at around midfield. In fact, they spot it right at the 50. 12:26 to go in regulation. Evangel leading 31-16. Andrew Brimhall in at quarterback, as Otis Brown, the lone running back, behind him. Brimhall, handoff up the middle to Brown across the 50, gets across the 45, and pushes forward across the 40. That's a first down run at 10 yards by Otis Brown. He's right around the 100-yard mark, and Evangel going to work quick on offense. It's a no-huddle look, but West, they picked up the pace here.
Try to rally something here, start to get things moving in our direction.
I'll have to try to wear down this defense at Culver Stockton. He's been on the field quite a bit this second half. First and 10 from the Culver 40. Pass completed the flat to Sean Hebert, who's snowed under at around the 38-yard line for the 2-yard pickup.
I don't know if you caught that, but that ball was deflected off of out of Brimhall's hand, and somehow it kept going straight, and we were able to turn it into yardage.
Did not catch that. That's one of those breaks we got on a tipped ball. We're hoping even out of the course of this season. Second down and 8 for Evangel. 2 wide receivers, bunched to the left on the far side. Jesse Vaughn wide to the right. Brimhall fakes the handoff to Brown. Now rolling near side away from pressure. Throws on the run down the near sideline. Caught by Mitch McHenry. Makes a great grab as he stays in bounds inside the 20.
What a catch.
A 20-yard pickup to Mitch.
Athletic catch by Mitch McHenry. Able to keep 1 foot in as the college rule allows it.
Wow.
And he stays in by a toe.
And off to Brown at the middle. It's about a yard to the 19 before he stacked up and pushed back. That almost looked like he was throwing it away. That was way high in the air to McHenry, and he leaped and hauled that in.
McHenry makes some spectacular catches.
Really now appreciating how good of an athlete he is. Because as a basketball player, he was excellent, but one of those steady guys. Didn't do anything flashy. But a good defender, just a good all-around basketball player. And as a football player, is exhibiting some skills, having not played the game in 5 years. Back to throw, Brimhall fires over the middle toward the end zone. Grabbed, I believe, by Vaughn at the goal line. Or maybe not, but there's a flag in the play. This ball should be spotted around the 1, but there may be a flag on Culver here as well.
Andrew Brimhall throwing the needle to Jesse Vaughn, and
I thought he hauled that in, didn't he?
I'm pretty sure he did. I don't think that's a catch, yeah.
That's right. Personal foul, targeting, number 29 on the defense.
That's a new one. Basically, I think they're calling that like a blow to the head type of thing, or a late hit, essentially.
You see it here on the replay.
That was a great grab. Yeah, he went up high. That's what they talk about in the NFL.
Yeah.
Where you go for the head with a hit, helmet to helmet. First and goal from Evangel inside the 1. And there's movement up front. And one of the Crusaders, after they jumped off sides, got hit late. And I think that's drawing a second flag. This game has been a little chippy at times. And it showed up there. And the officials are going to conference first. They may wave it off. We'll see.
I feel like J.R. Luke might have moved a little bit, but as soon as he stood up, was blasted from the side by a Wildcat defender. You see this on a replay. Boom.
Well, the officials have to decide if that was That really wasn't a true football play. I mean, it's going to be a hard sell if they wave that off, but I think they are. Well, maybe not. Yeah, they did call it.
Yeah.
Which is the right move. You've got to clean that up a little.
Yeah.
It's week 3. It's one of those things you just put in the players' minds. You're not going to let that go. So nothing happens there. It's still first and goal from inside the 1. Brimhall under center. Handoff Brown right side. He's in. Touchdown Crusaders on a 1-yard TD plunge to Otis Brown.
And a little bit of redemption from his earlier run in which they were unable to convert the touchdown, and Otis Brown slips in for 6 points.
Crusaders finish this drive in a short yardage play, and now the extra point from Drew O'Kane. Mitch McHenry will hold. Snap back, ball down, kick on the way, and that's good. And Evangel extends the lead further, and with 9:55 to go, it's Evangel 38, Culver Stockton 16. Timeout on the field. We're back to JFK Stadium after this.
Come on, boy. Come on. What do you got there, Yogi? Huh? What have you found? What do you got, little fella? Drop it. Looks like someone's butt. Man, they probably lost it playing with their kids. Hey, leave it. Come on. Come on.
Line of the Wildcats, where Culver Stockton will take over. 9:48 to go in the game, and the Wildcats will retake the field with their offense. Their defense has one of their touchdowns tonight. They'll have it here at their own 30. They have stuck with Curtis Widener tonight. That's something they have not done wire to wire in a game so far. He gets a play-action fake, fires a pass to the far sideline, and it's broken up and incomplete. 15 yards downfield on the far side. Good pressure, though, put on Widener as 2 Crusaders got in his face as he let it go. And still a pretty well-thrown ball, but Ragsdale could not leap up and hold it in.
Preston Henry and Keelan Hayes on the pressure. They're hitting the quarterback after he throws the ball. After a while, that starts to wear on your quarterback.
Widener is 12 of 22 in this game. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Widener this time will go from the shotgun. As the snap, back to throw. Fires a pass far side, and a leaping catch made to the 42 for the first down. Hitting Ragsdale there. Evangel has done a nice job keeping him from being a big factor in this game. They're a 12-yard pickup. That's only his 3rd catch and 28 yards. He came in with 7 receptions and 180 yards in 2 games.
Talking with the guys earlier, some of the secondary, they said that Culver runs a very predictable style of offense, and he's been able to shut that down thus far.
That is something you'd see from a young team as Widener gets hit as he threw it, and it winds up incomplete. You got a lot of freshmen and first-year guys and a coach who's only early on in his second season, they're going to keep things at least a little bit simple before you've got a group that really can stay together and come up. And when you're in a hole like they're in now, you kind of know what's coming. They're going to have to air it out to give themselves a chance. 2nd down and 10. Over Stockton at their own 42. Widener back to throw, rolling near side, looks downfield, got nailed as he threw it, and it goes incomplete. Tabor Chio popped him right in the chest as he let it go.
One thing that we haven't been seeing in the first 2 games of the season with our outside linebackers is the ability to run down the quarterback on the outside. And there we saw it right there, Tabor just obliterating the quarterback before he can even get it out of his hand. It's good to see.
3rd down and 10. He never saw him coming. Chio kind of was running behind an offensive lineman who never could get out there to block him. So Chio ran past him. And then the quarterback kind of ran into Chio, who made the collision. 3rd and 10. Culver Stockton at their own 42. Widener back to throw. Hit again as he throws it, but airs it out down the far sideline, and it's batted down. They're going to throw flags on the play. Widener, meanwhile, is slow to get up. I don't know about this one, but it's going to give Culver Stockton a 1st down, I think.
I don't know if I agree with that. There was some pushing and shoving, but
15-yard penalty through this spot. And then 1st down.
Aired it out down the far sideline. The ball was a little offline, and so he tried to turn to the inside, and Purnell was right there. It actually looked like great defense by Purnell. He got inside position, did not let the receiver go back to the sideline to catch it. Then the ball got batted in the air. Actually, I think it was Ragsdale had a chance to make a catch anyway. Now on 1st down and 10, a new quarterback is in who dumps it off and throws it just offline, and it's incomplete.
Wow, Steven Swillem welcoming the new quarterback.
That's Alan Overton, by the way.
Overton, who was making his way to the near sideline, just got blasted.
Swillem nailed him. Overton is the guy that came in the 4th quarter last week in the game against Peru State and had a good 4th period. Not listed as their backup. They played 2 guys in front of him. He came in and had a better than 100-yard passing quarter and a touchdown or so to go with it. Now 2nd and 10 from the Evangel 44-yard line. Here's a ball thrown over the middle. It'll go incomplete. What Brenton Elam liked about Overton was not only his ability to connect with receivers, but he could run a little bit, and kind of thought their offense might alter a little if we saw more of this guy at quarterback, thinking that he was more of a dual threat. 3rd down and 10 for the Wildcats at the Evangel 43-yard line. Crusaders in the lead at 38-16. Midway through the 4th. Now, Widener back in the game, and he overthrows his target way downfield of the 15-yard line. So the quarterback had been switched out for 2 plays, but then Widener overthrows his man deep downfield. It's going to be 4th and 10, and Culver Stockton may go for this. You want a chance, you kind of need to convert. You're almost in 4-down territory anyway. You're at the plus 43.
You really don't have any other choice but to go for it.
You still have time. If you can get into the end zone, you're in a hurry. Find a way to get the ball back. The 22-point deficit, but a lot of time still to go midway through this 4th quarter. Widener with a shotgun snap, fires over the middle, and it's caught and dropped. Pass a little behind his receiver, but he couldn't quite haul it in, and there's a late flag, I think, that might have come in. And a shaken-up Crusader. Lamar Allen, slow to get up, but helped to his feet. I think this may be an interference. Now we're going to talk about this first.
Not sure where the ball was thrown exactly, but
personal foul Allen was the one that got around. I'm not really sure where the roughness came because the pass went behind him.
Wow.
The two kind of ran into one another. That's going to be a first down and a 15-yard penalty.
Do that again. See if we can.
Now, he looked like he was trying to make a hit and finish a play there, but actually kind of missed him. Now Widener to the air, completes a pass to the 15, taken inside, or taken to the 25 rather, to the 15.
Questionable call.
Pass completion to Kevin Chisholm, and a 15-yard gain. First and 10, Culver Stockton, as they get a 4th and 10, but get a penalty out of it on a 15-yarder. Now 1st and 10 from the Evangel 15-yard line. Widener fires a pass near side, and it's going to go incomplete. There's another flag. One of the Culver Stockton receivers had either fallen down or been knocked down to the 10-yard line. It may be illegal contact downfield. It's a defensive holding, but it is an automatic first down, so that'll put the ball at around the 10-yard, actually the 7-yard line. First and goal for Culver Stockton from the 7. It's been almost all penalties that have gotten them down to this point. Widener, a short drop. Fires a pass toward the end zone, and it'll go incomplete. Looking for Ragsdale on the far side in the back corner of the end zone, and it goes incomplete. There's 8:11 to play here in this fourth quarter. Second and goal from the 7. Culver Stockton looking to get their way back into this thing. It's still some time to work with. More than 8 minutes of regulation time to go, and the trail 38-16 on the road to Evangel. Widener, a short drop. Fires a pass toward the goal line. And taken right at the goal line. No indication if it's a TD, and it's not going to be. Boy, it looked like he got in. Kevin Chisholm again made the grab at the 1. They say he did not break plane. So third and goal from the 1.
Yeah, he was definitely down there. Good call by the officials. Had his arm down right before the ball crossed the plane. His knee was all down. Not quite able to get in.
Tight I formation this time behind Widener. Third and goal from the 1. He's going to sneak it forward, and he is in. Touchdown, Culver Stockton. Wildcats get on the board with a score to get a little closer with 7:35 remaining. Widener in a 1-yard quarterback sneak. 7:35 left to play, and West, you're not exactly in a comfort zone here.
No, we gave them too many opportunities, and whether or not the calls went our way, we still unable to really get that big stop, but we still have, 15-point lead, 2 possessions, need to work the clock and use our run game. Still in control, but definitely not comfortable.
Extra point by Camargo is good, and with 7:35 left, it's Evangel 38, Culver Stockton 23. Timeout on the field. We're back to JFK Stadium after this.
May I have your attention, please? Would the owner of the spare tire, slightly hairy, with a little brown mole to the left of the belly button, it's an innie. Please report to the press box and retrieve your appendage. Oh, they must have lost this parking further away from the stadium and walking in. Okay, we're back to the action.
back at JFK Stadium. Culver Stockton punches the ball downfield in a kickoff. There's a scramble like there's a fumble at the end of this return. Didn't look like the ball came out, but we will see as they umpile everybody. About all 22 guys on the field, all jumbled up at around the 38-yard line of Evangel. Crusaders ball, I think that did come out. Tabor Chio, I think, was the guy that wound up having the ball kicked at him. Kind of thought he was down before he fumbled it, but you just never know. Evangel will have the football. They'll take over to their own 38-yard line. 7:28 to go in the game, and they lead 38-23.
I was on the kickoff return team in high school, and I tell you what, they told me if the ball ever comes to you, Clay, just sit on it, just fall on it. They needed to fall on it there.
Here's a flea flicker play. Brimhall fires a pass near side, and a sliding grab made at the 35-yard line of Culver Stockton by Mitch McHenry. Hand off to Meyer, who flipped it back to Brimhall, and they connect on the pass.
Changing it up a little bit of trickery, and we get a good gain out of it.
32-yard pickup for Evangel. And now at the Culver Stockton 35. Otis Brown in at running back. There goes a flag as he gets the ball. Gets to the 35-30. Makes a man miss at the 25-20. Down the far sideline. 10-5. Touchdown. But it probably is coming back.
Otis Brown is overpowering at this level. I mean, he just is.
Otis flinched a little bit before that play came off. But you're right, who cares? It was still a highlight reel run. It takes a touchdown off the board, but still fun to watch anyway.
His level of running is just, it really is on the next level. He has some speed. He is fun to watch.
That is not, again, the position he came here to play, but just shows us how good a football player he is. Because Brendan Elam did not describe him as the best wide receiver on the roster. He described him as the best football player overall on the roster, and kind of seeing what he's talking about now. Here is a carry to Brown again, left side across the 35, and tripped up and taken down from behind. He's going to get back the yardage he lost as he gets to around the 35 or 34-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 6. Brown, you could tell as he came off, felt like if he hadn't gotten tripped up, he might have taken that one to the house. 2nd and 9 for Evangel. At the 34 of the Wildcats. Andrew Brimhall rolling near side with pressure from behind, but he completes a pass to McHenry at the 30, fights forward to the 25, and may have a first down.
I think it might be a little... Give it to him there.
They do. That is a 9-yard gain, and McHenry's 4th catch of the night for 83 yards. Tight formation. They're going to pitch it to Meyer in a sweep right. Barrels over 2 men and gets 2 hard-fought yards, and then there's a penalty flag that goes down behind the play.
Good evening, Mr. Linebacker. My name is Tommy Meyer.
Personal foul. That's a face mask on the Crusaders. That play coming back and going backwards 15 yards. Meyer comes off limping, and limping a lot. That is not a good sign. But he just didn't take out one guy, Wes. He took out 2 defensive players. There were 2 Culver Stockton players that reverberated backwards. Meyer looks to be a leg cramp. He's getting stretched out down below.
He put his head down and he made the hit.
First down now and 25 to go. Here's a delay handoff to Brown, looking for room left side. Finds none, but drags a tackler with him for 4 or 5 yards as he gets to the 35. Players coming together around the near sidelines from either side. As we said, this game is kind of been a little chippy at times tonight and getting there again.
Oh, yeah.
There have been a few discussions and a few after the whistle exchanges.
Yeah, it's been a physical game. Guys have gone at it. We put the hits on people. They've put a few hits on us. But
second down now and 20 at the Culver-Stockton 35-yard line. Back to throw Andrew Brimhall. Looks downfield. Now will throw on the run as a man open. It's gone to the 25. Taken inside the 20 to the 15 to the 10. And a score! Touchdown Crusaders! As Josh Booker made the grab and picked his way downfield for the touchdown.
didn't look like he had much on that opposite sideline to be able to make a nice catch, keep his feet in bounds, make a defender miss, and run it in.
Here comes the extra point now for Evangel, as they put up their 44th point of the night, looking for number 45 from O'Kane, and his extra point is up and good. The lead extended again for Evangel with 4:41 to play in the fourth. It's the Crusaders 45, Culver-Stockton 23. A timeout on the field, and we're back to JFK Stadium after this.
Millions of Americans suffer from poverty, but passionate people like you can do something about it. Join VISTA. You can teach teens how to mentor children at risk, recruit volunteers to feed the hungry, or help homeless veterans find shelter and employment. AmeriCorps Vista has more than 6,500 opportunities for you to help fight poverty. Go to vista.gov or call 800-942-2677.
Back at JFK Stadium, where Evangel leads 45-23 now over Culver-Stockton. May have put this game out of reach. The kickoff, though, goes out of bounds on the far sideline. Yet another penalty to add to Evangel's night of penalty yardage, which is kind of piling up a little bit. But despite that, Evangel with a sizable lead at 45-23 with 4:41 left to play. And well, it's good to see that the Evangel offense continuing to try to click, and Josh Booker in his first game of the season with a nice run after the catch for the score.
Yeah, Josh Booker's been a nice surprise for us, although not a surprise. We knew he was going to come and contribute. Then Otis Brown in the backfield, somewhat a surprise, but we know that he can run. But that's been a lot of fun to watch tonight.
Curtis Widener with a pass that's nearly intercepted. That went right on the near side, and the only guy there was Chandler Eden, who could not quite haul it in. Eden, a sophomore out of Stratford, was all alone at the 40 and leaped up and had it drop in and out of his hands.
I think Eden is kicking himself after that. That was in his hands. He just took a look upfield to see how he would do his victory dance, but wasn't able to hold on to it long enough.
He would have been doing one because there was no one in front of him. He was all by himself. Now 2nd and 10 for Culver-Stockton from their own 35. Widener to the air again. Completes it just shy of the first down. And it's taken, he's driven back to the 40. But he'll get progress for about a 9-yard pickup as they hit McFadden. Evan McFadden gets his first catch of the game. 3rd down and 1 now. Over Stockton at their own 44. Widener with a pass near side, deflected and incomplete. Looked like somebody got a hand on it on the line. It wobbled near side and went over the head of his intended receiver.
I'll tell you what, fourth quarter has been by far the most entertaining so far. First half, after our first initial possession, was a little bit slow. In the third quarter, we started to pick things up. But this fourth quarter, we've seen a lot of A lot of running, a lot of passing, a lot of good things.
Brenton Elam may say part of it has been a little bit of an adventure, not in a good way, as there have been some crazy plays. On 4th down and a yard to go, Widener will sneak it forward and get about a 2 or 3 yard pickup to keep the ball moving for the Wildcats. He had the interception, run back for a touchdown to start the quarter. Another Evangel turnover in this period. But Evangel with 2 TDs in the quarter. Couple of impressive runs by Otis Brown. Widener fires a pass near side. It's going to be caught at the Evangel 46. And about a 7-yard pickup as they found Lunsford. Over Stockton in a hurry-up mode. Out of the shotgun, Widener fires the far side. It's just offline and incomplete. He got taken to the turf, too, by Carlin Sims. And for the second time in this quarter alone, Widener is slow to get up out of it. And we're going to have a timeout called by the Wildcats, or at least the stoppage of play. I think they did call a timeout with 3:29 to go in the game, facing a 3rd down and 3 play. We'll keep it here and remind you that US 97, our sister station, is the home of the Kansas City Chiefs. Tomorrow, Kansas City is at Buffalo. Pre-game coverage on US 97 starts at 11. Kickoff at 12 noon as the Chiefs take on the Buffalo Bills in NFL play tomorrow on US 97. We're at Nicholls State next week, a Division I challenge for the Crusaders as they take on the Nicholls State Colonels. We are playing a team, Wes, that is playing Oregon State later. How's that for a midweek game?
Yeah, that's definitely got to be exciting for the guys. At the same time, you go in there with the mindset of we want to be competitive, but you're playing at a level that is far above. So it's going to be fun, but it's also going to be a big challenge.
They would have played Oregon State already. The hurricane prevented Nicholls State from traveling. That game is now going to be in December, although with an asterisk. 3rd down and 3. Play action fake. Widener going deep near side along the sideline, and it is going to be caught. He makes the grab at the 10 and hangs on. A nice grab by Evan McFadden as he hangs onto it. Are they going to call it now? One guy said reception, another guy says no, he didn't grab it. You saw it all along, Wes. You had that incomplete from the get-go. It's going to be 4th and 3 now.
I'm not even sure what he saw. I mean, that ball was on turf.
The asterisk, by the way, in that Nicholls State-Oregon State game is if Nicholls State is in the football championship series playoffs, what used to be 1AA, and the game is off. And if Oregon State is playing in the Pac-12 title game, the game is off. Otherwise, it's set for December 1. 4th down and 3 for Culver Stockton. 3:21 to go in the game. Short drop by Widener, throws over the middle, and it is caught and taken for the first down to the 40-yard line. They convert again on 4th down, this time a pass completion to Watson over the middle.
Denzel Billy able to cover his man. One thing last week that we've seen differently than this week than last week is our ability to cover up the middle.
Here's a ball overthrown and nearly intercepted. That bounced away from Lamar Allen, incomplete.
Seems like we're communicating better in the secondary and covering the guys who we need to cover, really shutting down that passing game.
Yeah, last week against Baker, Evangel had the Wildcats at times in some spots where Baker didn't want to be. 3rd down plays, 3rd and medium plays. The Wildcats always seemed to, when they needed to, find a guy open and move the chains and keep drives going. It's not always been the case for Culver Stockton tonight. 3:04 to go in the game. Evangel looking to raise their record to 2-1 and get their first conference win as multiple offensive linemen jump. Called it on their right tackle, could have also called it on their right guard. And go back 5 yards at 2nd and 15. And they're at the Evangel 45. A little more than 3 minutes to play. Evangel really has taken away Culver Stockton's run game, too. They've not had much at all on the ground tonight. 2nd down and 15. Widener under center. He will drop back to pass. Looks over the middle, fires that way, and throws it really between two defenders. He went wide of his target. It was only about 5 yards downfield anyway. They've not thrown the ball a ton in their first 2 games. They've thrown it 37 times now tonight. Wow. Actually, that's make it 39 times because their backup threw it twice. So it's almost a 40 pass attempt game for them. Coming in, Widener had thrown 26 passes in 2 games.
Wow.
Their backup had thrown it 19 times, so it's not like that's their bread and butter. 3rd and 15. Widener out of the shotgun snap, back to throw, throws a deep ball down the middle of the field, and it is going to be batted down, nearly picked off again. That was Bruffett, who nearly had his 2nd pick of the night. Good to see him back in the field, though. He was shaken up earlier and nearly made an intercepted pass, but it'll be 4th down and 15 for the Wildcats.
That was as close as they come. He had it till he hit the turf and it just bounced out. But yeah, you know, last week against Baker, they have 2 very good backs, and we were able to neutralize them. And their passing game was really the thing that killed us. And so obviously Culver is going to see that and try to exploit that. But so far we've been able to neutralize their passing game and have taken a substantial lead over them. And our defense has played well.
On 4th and 15, Widener airs it out down the near sideline, and it's going to be bobbled and dropped at the 15. That deflected off a receiver, then deflected off of Buffett. And their receiver, McFadden, almost got it back on a 2nd try as it deflected off both guys, but it's incomplete. And on 4th and 15, that's a turnover on downs. And Evangel will take over the football at their own 45-yard line with 2:25 left to play. And we'll see a whole slew of new faces in the game now for the Crusaders as they try to close it out. Garrett Swan back in at quarterback. And a new running back is in, and Stephen Williams. His first action as a Crusader. Williams gets a call and a run to his left and will fight forward for about 2 yards on a rushing play to his left. Williams, a freshman from Naples, Florida, and a speedy young prospect at a running back. Came out of the same high school as one of his teammates on the defensive side of the football, and Cody Christner. 2nd down and 8. Hand off again. Williams left side. Gets to the 50, then gets met. Taken down after about a 2 or 3 yard pickup.
Williams isn't a big guy, but he has the respect of his teammates. And talking with some of the guys earlier, he can move. This kid is a kid who's going to get up the field quickly. He's going to get to the outside quickly. He's not going to, run up the middle, pound. But he will add some speed to this offense as he continues to grow and mature as a college running back.
His high school in Florida, one of the best in the state. Went to a state semifinals in his, I believe, junior year. Pass over the middle by Swan, broken up. Looking for Vaughn around the 1st down marker on the far side. Pass went wide and incomplete. And a punting situation now for Evangel with 1:15 to go in the game. Coming up, our post-game coverage brought to you by the Assemblies of God Credit Union. We'll visit with head coach Brenton Elam, recap this game, and preview next week. Josh Booker to punt. Drew Bolheis stands at his own 10-yard line awaiting the kick. Booker puts it away. A wobbly kick down the middle of the field. It'll bounce at the 15. Take a forward roll for the Crusaders to the 10. And we'll be down at the 9. Culver Stockton will have it there with 1:02 to play. Wildcats are looking at 0-3. Next week they're at home and face Central Methodist in a tough 2-week stretch where they're at Missouri Valley and at home against Mid-American Nazarene. They have non-conference games against Lindenwood Belleville a first-year program, but a team that's beaten Avila out of the gate already this year. They've got a Division I team on their schedule, too, in Austin Peay out of Tennessee. That's a road trip they make in early November. Curtis Widener in at quarterback still with a play-action fake. There's a deep ball down the near sideline, and it's broken up incomplete. And that time, their wideout in Ragsdale jumped over the top of the defender to keep him from catching it.
Really good win for the Crusaders this week. Week 1, you come out, have a lot of emotion. You play well. Week 2, you go up against a tough Baker team. And then week 3, it's really, your season can go one way or another very quickly. And even though Culver Stockton isn't a powerhouse in our conference, it's still good to get a defining win over them.
And off up the middle. That's going to go to around the 14-yard line. A carry there by Childs. He'll get actually 6 yards on the carry as the clock winds down. 35 seconds to go, and Culver Stockton may have a chance for one more play as they're at their own 15-yard line. And next week, we're on at 5:45 with pregame coverage. And a 6 o'clock start from Nichols State. And off up the middle, Childs again, wrapped up and taken down to the 18, a gain of 3. That might do it. Well, actually, the clock stops with 12 seconds to go. They're going to give him progress to the 20 and a first down. That's what stopped the clock. A 4-yard pickup. All spotted at the 19-yard line. Culver Stockton, if they can beat the clock, will run off one more play. 6 seconds to go. Now 5. They snap it. Whiter to the air, far side, and a catch made, I believe. If he hangs on to it, it's about a 5-yard pickup for Ragsdale. But that'll do it. Makes the grab of the 25, but that runs out the clock. Crusaders a winner. They defeat Culver Stockton 45-23. Your final. Evangel bounces back with a win. Their second win at home this year as they defeat the Wildcats. Evangel 45, Culver Stockton 23. We wrap it up with the Assemblies of God Credit Union post-game show and visit with Brenton Elam in our post-game coverage that starts next.